Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like you said, the Wolves are a tough opponent, and they're hungry, and hungry Wolves are a scary, scary thing. And we'll see, man. We'll see. I think it's going to be a fun night, and hopefully it ends with a bright shining beam.
Nate behind the glass for us as always. We still do have Sam Morrell tickets. That's coming up at 12:30. So your chance to win. They've been going pretty hot this week. So if you're on the app, be sure to switch over around 12:15, and we got all that for you. DJ Bedhead is going with a lot of jock jams tonight or today. We're going to be playing some music to get you ready, get you set for this Kings season. And we want to hear from you. This is the last time we can do predictions prior to the season starting. Obviously, it's not going to be the last time we try to predict things, but this is the last time where we have no clue how this season's going to go. You're not overreacting to a game because they won. You're not overreacting to a game because they lost. This is just how you feel before things tip off in a number of hours. And obviously the drive guys got you after us. They're going to be at Beach Hut Deli, I believe. Hopefully Whitey or somebody gets me a Hobie. That's my favorite sandwich there. And you can go and hang out with them after you're done listening to us. We got all that. There's still NFL going on, still NFL football.
That's right.
Chris's Vikings play tonight, so Chris is going to be double-barreled at the game. Yeah. He's going to have the NFL game on. He's going to be watching the Kings. He's going to be ignoring me as I continue to scream and yell and do things that media isn't supposed to do. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful evening. No more stupid articles. No more stupid podcasts. No more assuming this. No more assuming that. Today only, Chris. It's all about what we think the Kings are going to do. Not anybody that isn't in Sacramento right now. Unless you're Sacramento adjacent from the 209 and other cities like that, then call it 916-339-1140. We got the phone lines open all day as we get you ready for the Kings and their season. We also have sound from the one, the only, the great friend of the station, Sam Amick. Kevin Herter versus Keon. What did he think about it? We was listening to his hit on with the morning show, and honestly, I was a bit surprised what he had to say. We will re-rack that and have that for you. Former Kings around the league, how did they do? How are they faring? And it is funny, Chris, we were discussing the line of, okay, there's former Kings, but it's not even a timing thing. There's just certain former Kings that you are interested in how they're doing, because it's not a timing thing. Because I'm sure there are guys.
Should I do a Chris Duarte update?
I was gonna say nobody cares what Chris Duarte's doing.
Well, that's sad for Chris Duarte.
Well, I'm saying in Sacramento.
Let me tell you, I did not include him in the update.
I'm saying in Sacramento, but we do have an update we will get to in about 10-ish minutes. And does the NBA have a problem? We talk about the problems in Major League Baseball with too many strikeouts, too many home runs, too many walks. In NFL, it's turning into flag football. But NBA, they might have a problem as well. And it's a problem that Kings fans complain about on our text line all the time. So we'll tell you what that is. Like I said, 11 o'clock is when we're going to get into the Sam Amick piece. And as I mentioned, today is all about just the predictions that we have. What will be the main storyline on this season? We want to hear from you. Obviously, Chris, myself, and Nate will break all that down. The best realistic outcome for the Kings, the worst realistic outcome from the Kings, and whether or not this team is going to do something we haven't seen a Kings team do before. We also have around the NBA and around the NFL. And Chris, look, if the Kings win tonight, I'm preparing you right now. Actually, either way, whether they win or lose, I'm probably going to overreact because I got to sit. Well, I got to sit here and everybody
keep you accountable.
No, you should. No, you should. That's why this thing works. All right, we're approaching a year on the show. Actually, Chris, 2 days. In 2 days, and we're not going to have a show on the day where our first show aired.
Chris's birthday,
Saturday. Right. That's right. I do remember that now. So, Chris, what time do you want me to come over?
It's not happening. Not happening. Saturday is completely booked for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we're going. Is it
Saints and Sinners?
Saints and Sinners, Thunder Valley.
Chris going to win sexiest costume.
Let's go.
No.
Nate would pick him up around 7.
Oh yeah, earlier.
Yeah,
we gotta start
pick me
early.
up here at the station, 7:30
tables,
and then
Chris needs 12 hours to get dressed.
Wait for me. Yeah. Wait for me here.
Don't worry, we don't got to
7:30 around.
We don't got to pick you up at the station. We can just go to your house.
No,
and we can wait there for whatever you're available. I'm just giving you a hard time, Chris. But be sure to wish Chris happy birthday on social media if you catch him. And don't text him because he won't respond. He's got about 10.
Yeah, I will not.
I was going to say 10, more like 100 text messages open
these days
right now. But Chris, these
a lot better.
These overreactions. Would you say that working with me has made you better at answering text messages?
No, not at all.
Okay.
They have only stacked up even more.
So you're just now you're
424 unread messages.
Like that's crazy. You have messages from your last birthday, brother.
I definitely do. I mean, that's how it started. I've got so many unread messages, and I'll get to it eventually.
Wow, Nate, that's such a good call out. Chris mentioned his birthday because tomorrow we're not going to be able to talk about it. Well, we're not going to be able to talk about it on his birthday because it's Saturday.
Yeah. I will say, Chris, just knowing you over these years, the texts with me have gotten a lot better. Like you respond to me.
Wow.
Really trying to start something.
Wow.
I'm serious.
Hey.
I do not agree, but okay.
Hey, fair enough. Well, yeah. I agree that Chris, you're gonna have a great birthday. Wild. Yes, and
me and Nate text all the time.
I know. I
didn't want to bring it up.
I mean, they are green bubbles, so I kind of don't like that.
It's just Sam Darnold love.
Yeah, the green bubbles are just tough for me. And overreacting and not overreacting is going to be really tough for me, Chris. As I watched some of the games yesterday, and we go around the league. Obviously, we're going to talk about this guy when we talk about former Kings, but the Pacers, honestly, the Pistons, they look like they could be squirrely. Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. The Pistons, was that the team that Whitey had said, hey, they might actually be decent, or was it a different Eastern Conference team? There's a part, I feel like, because we're not going to have crosstalk today, but I feel like Whitey said the Pistons are actually, they're going to be respectable, okay? Besides them having 6 dudes on the court, which is something I've never seen before. They got a technical foul for it. But Cade Cunningham and the crew, they definitely look better. And Jaden Ivey, one of the most confusing players, Chris, he'll look like he has no clue what he's doing out there and then have the shiftiest move you've ever seen and get to the cup in the blink of an eye. So I think the Pistons will at least be more respectable than we've seen in the past. Your Cavs nearly drop 140 as they beat down on the Raptors, who the Raptors are, they're probably in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. Grady Dick, you mentioned him yesterday, Chris. He's one of those guys where I just never really saw. Was he a G League guy?
No, he went to Kansas.
Okay, he went to Kansas. He kind of slipped through my radar. I have no clue what in the world was he's supposed to be or what the Raptors are doing. So they might find themselves in a Cooper Flag type sweepstakes or Ace Bailey. The Magic handle the Heat. They win the Battle of Florida. And, the Magic, every year, somebody says, Paolo Banchero is the best number one that nobody talks about. Well, that's why people don't want to go to the Magic, because that's what happens. I mean, this guy won Rookie of the Year. He's literally a beast, and nobody ever talks about him. So they take care of business against the Heat, who the Heat are on track already, Chris, for that 9-10 seed or 8 seed to slide on in there. Bucks handle the 76ers with no Joel Embiid, who is under investigation. Now the team is under investigation, and no Paul George as well. The Bucks take care of business. Damian Lillard looked great, but again, it's early. Giannis looked great as well. The Hornets beat down on the Rockets, or not beat down. They beat them 110-105. LaMelo is LaMelo. Is he an empty calories conversation, Chris, or just needs to be in a winning situation?
I mean, we don't really know, because he's barely plays when he is when he is out there. It's on a really bad team, and so you just don't really know yet. I mean, he doesn't really seem like a kind of player who, he seems like if the team is going to get good at some point, he's definitely going to have to relinquish some sort of power. Mm-hmm. But I mean, right now that team is so bad that he just kind of has the ultimate green light, and I think that's their best path to success. But they don't have any help out there.
Pelicans take down the Bulls, but the Pelicans ultimately, they suffer the biggest loss. DeJounte Murray, who they just traded for, he fractures his hand. He's going to be out for a decent amount of time. So you hate to see it. You know how high I am on DeJounte Murray, Chris. And I know the Pelicans kind of like saying Voldemort out here in Sacramento, but I did want to see what it looked like. They end up having to keep Brandon Ingram, who played well.
Right.
They really looked like they could have had something. I remember having a segment saying, why is nobody talking about what happens if the Pelicans actually figure this out and DeJounte Murray messes up his hand. So we'll see what happens there. The Grizzlies, Ja Morant, they squeak it out against the Jazz. The Suns look like the Suns, blowing leads and then ultimately beating a team they had no business losing to in the first place. Steve Ballmer was very sad to start. Then he got very excited, and the Suns ultimately get that W. And the Warriors, wow. The Warriors take down the Trailblazers. And if you take a look at Warriors Twitter, by the way, it's 2022 vibes. This is the deepest team. I think Steve Kerr said this is the deepest team I've ever coached. So the Warriors, I mean, you think I'm overreacting, Chris? No, don't play him, and you know why, Nate. This guy put up a donut for me. Prop talk.
Plus 34 or whatever.
And then he's shooting after the game. Brother, go home. Go home. We don't want to hear it. So the overreactions are going to come. Kings talk all day long. So don't move a muscle. We got Sam Morril tickets at 12:30. Opening up the phone lines, Ben. We see you already. Text lines on fire. Let's get it going. We've made it. Thursday, baby. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Kevin Herterer. Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
It's better over here.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Sacktown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
From the 916 from Esteban. Allen, you were a little too much on the Kings Roundtable show. So passionate, Esteban. I wasn't too much.
Just one positive thing.
I said they're going to be a 4 or 5 seed. It's not how you start.
Oh, you guys don't have McAfee on in there. Our boy's on the show right now. Who? You want to guess?
Tyrese.
Yeah, he's chilling in a hoodie.
By the way,
fresh off the Obama interview.
In top stories at 1:00, Pat McAfee put out a tweet yesterday.
Did he really?
Saying, "Hey, it's really hard for it's really hard for us to get the ESPN NBA people. Who should we have on?" And I guess Front Office Sports, friends of the station, Front Office Sports, they reported, I guess they got a hold of ESPN personalities and nobody knows what McAfee is talking about. I know we keep saying that he just can't do wrong, but there's got to be something he can do is there any amount, as game day is seeing numbers you've never seen before, is there anything he could do outside of something just straight up illegal for them to say, yeah, this money's not worth it? I do feel like he's that untouchable. He can say whatever he wants, and there's just going to be reports on it. Well, we're going to say
Stephen A, man. Him versus Stephen A is going to be a battle for the ages.
Yes, it will. 916, this is the first of many elite dubs we're collecting from Big Van Vince. This is a big game, Big Van Vince. This is a big game, so we're hoping that the Kings can get off on the right foot. The vibes are going to be right. I know that Scott Freshour is going to have everybody lit in there. I hope the voice pipes are ready to go because he's going to be going. Scott Moak is going to be going. It's going to be electric in there, and you can feel that. That's right. Thank you, Nate. And you can feel that through the TV, even if you're not going to be able to attend. We're about to get to the former Kings and what they did around the league. But Ben, when we say we open up the phone lines, we don't just open them up to not take the calls.
No,
we're going to take the calls.
That's right.
How are you feeling about the Kings season?
How?
We want your predictions here on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, 916-339-1140. What's up, Ben? Happy Thursday. What you got for us?
Happy Thursday, boys. And before I get to what I want to say, I want to congratulate you guys on early anniversary. You guys have been killing it. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, love listening to you guys. Easy prediction for tonight. The place will be absolutely insane. The vibe will just give you, goosebumps, and it's going to be an easy dub. And then we're going to walk away with DeMar DeRozan lighting the first beam of the season, following up on his social media response of, I'm going to light the beam like I'm Batman. And so that's it, man. And I am so excited. I can't wait. I won't be there, but like you just said, I'll be watching it on TV, and Scott Mogan and all the announcers and stuff, they make you feel like you're there anyway. So that's what it's going to be. Love you guys.
Thanks for the call, Ben. Great stuff. I was going to ask, I heard Dave asking people, because we did this with NFL, because it's not the same for tailgating, but if there's going to be any special food, is wings, is wings, is that really just an NFL thing? Do you feel like you want some wings with the basketball game?
I always want wings.
Well,
I'm the wrong person to ask for that.
But does it feel basketball?
I understand
is
where
it a
you're
basketball
asking,
food or just a football?
Are you saying at home or at the arena? At the arena, I think that's a tough
No,
one.
not at the arena.
Okay.
No, I'm saying you go to a bar, restaurant, or you're at home. You know what?
It does feel more like a football thing.
Doesn't it?
Something about it just feels more like
Food
a football
should not
thing.
be exclusive to events. It is.
Like,
it shouldn't be.
like you go to a baseball game, you're probably going to get a hot dog, right?
Yeah.
Like, but that's just kind of how it is. Like,
because they push it on you, dude.
Pizza,
so then what?
Like
that's what I was going to say. What is a basketball
tenders
food?
And fries. Tenders and fries scream basketball game.
Popcorn at the Kings game because they got the refillable.
Yeah,
I was going to say tacos, but that's just because I'll eat tacos with anything.
Yeah,
and I'll eat. My tailgate foods or my sports foods, I'll have it all.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll put it to you like this. If it was a playoff game, like regular season game, I'm not, because there's just so many, probably not doing wings. Playoff game, Kings playoff game, give me the lemon pepper, give me the hot garlic with buffalo.
Feels like an
crispy.
event. It starts to feel like
an
event.
It's the event of it. And I think that's why NFL is more wingy.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're all events.
NFL, ribs are a big one.
You know,
in the little field house.
That's what I'm saying. 916 Herder and Monk will get 30 and 25 points tonight. Beam will be lit. 30-25.
30 and 25.
30 and 25.
Herder's career high is 31, right?
31. That's right. He's allergic to 30 for a long time.
That's right.
Man.
You can get, I did see that you can get Herder at 1.5. It's not prop talk yet, but 1.5 threes.
Can't help himself.
He's definitely getting one. I know he's getting one.
That's easy.
That's easy money.
Come on.
And because he's
that's
starting.
Just our bonus. We'll just throw that in. That's right. That's our goblet right there.
Herder at 28.5 points. You taking the over or under on that?
Under.
Okay.
No. Let's keep it positive today.
Okay.
916 nachos go with every sport.
28 minutes.
Oh, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Nachos.
I said points. That's what I meant. 28.5 minutes. I'm so sorry. I blanked.
I think
I
under.
don't know. Yeah, probably under still.
Yeah. Nachos go with every sport, Chris.
100%. Yeah, I can't
just
think of a sport that nachos.
I'm just nachos are tough to nail, man.
You just
Are we going nacho cheese?
Wet.
Are we going melted cheese?
Yeah.
Is
so,
the
you don't want your fingers getting
what's
all
the
nasty
difference?
Sometimes.
Like a nacho cream sauce.
Okay.
Like a nacho,
more of a queso.
Like when you go to the movies.
I never get nachos at the movies.
Yeah, me neither. All right. Former Kings around the league, Chris. Who do you got? Chris.
Gotcha, sorry. Who do we have? We have a lot of Kings in action yesterday. Former Kings, that is, in action yesterday. Let's start off with the guy that left most recently, and that's one Davion Mitchell. Davion, in his first game in, where was it in Toronto? It was, let's see here. It was in Toronto in the 6th. Davion Mitchell yesterday. To be honest, not a very good game for him. I think it's going to take a while for him. You know, it's it's not necessarily as organized as a team as the Kings are. So it's going to be a little bit tougher for him to kind of play solid basketball. I think 8 points, 4 of 10 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3, 3 assists, 2 steals. The tough part for Davion yesterday, 5 turnovers. I think that's going to be the toughest part for him is keeping those turnovers down, as he just really wasn't asked to be like an actual playmaking, facilitating point guard here in Sacramento. That's the biggest part of development. Tyrese Halliburton, we know it doesn't matter how long or how far removed Tyrese is going to be from the Kings. He's always going to be somebody in the Kings' interest, Kings fan interest. Yesterday, a bit of a rough one for Tyrese. 15 points. He was 6 of 18 from the field, 1 of 9 from three-point land. The only 3 he made, I will give him credit, was a very, very timely 3 to pretty much seal the game at the end. 4 assists for him, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks for Tyrese. They won the game. I think that's the most important thing. Tyrese definitely sealed it for them, so I have to give him credit there. Jordy Fernandez yesterday loses his first game coaching the Atlanta Hawks. Ben Simmons in that game. Dave wishes he was a King. 6 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 6 turnovers, 5 fouls for Ben Simmons yesterday. He had a 5-by-5 in the wrong kind of way. Bogdan Bogdanovic, he's one who kind of almost fits into, I think he's like the line of,
probably
Kings fans care about Bogdan, but I think it's the years removed from him, and it feels like the attachment's not quite as strong as what it once was. 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 2 of 6 from the field. All of those shots were from 3. And saving the best performance for last, the man who has set the Bay Area on fire, Mr. Buddy Buckets yesterday. Just he's bringing the Warrior fans in. He's making them attached, only to potentially hurt them later. 22 points for Buddy, 8 of 12 from the field, 5 of 7 from three-point land, 5 rebounds. He was a plus 20. Ladies and gentlemen, only in 15 minutes, Buddy played. Absolutely incredible performance from Buddy Hield. We've seen him be absolutely electrifying on the offensive end. We'll see if it can continue, because if it's going to be this way, and I saw a quote from Buddy that he essentially said that playing that first game in Golden State, he said he hasn't felt that free and open since he was at Oklahoma. We'll see if that continues, because if it is, I think that's a good discount get for the Warriors. And if not, I mean, we kind of know what Buddy Hield can be. So it's going to be a very interesting thing to follow, as we will throughout this season.
On the other side, how are you feeling going into this Kings season? What are you excited about? What are you worried about? And Tyrese Halliburton, I got something to say about him. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike with the left hand. The Kings lead by 3.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, this is Greg Pop-Up. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
The shot clock is ticking, and your home team is driving up the court. But don't miss your chance to score big at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Save on a new Accord, HRV, Ridgeline, or the all-new Prologue before the buzzer sounds on year-end deals. Don't get benched by high prices. Slam dunk your savings today.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
It's time to load up your calendar with all the hottest events. This is your Sacktown Sports live events calendar. First up, all this month, take the family to Dave's Pumpkin Patch for hay rides, corn mazes, and fall fun for everyone. It's the perfect way to celebrate the season. Next, David Spade brings his sharp wit to Hard Rock Live Sacramento on November 22nd. And the comedy continues with a hilarious Russell Peters taking the stage at Hard Rock Live on November 23rd. And if you're looking for some legendary music, Legends of Motown will have you grooving to all your favorite classics at Thunder Valley on the same night, November 23rd. Then get festive with the Jersey Boys Midtown Men Holiday Show on December 8th at Thunder Valley. And kicking off the new year, Dylan Scott with Jackson Dean and Avery Anna are bringing their country hits to Thunder Valley on January 10th. So get out there and enjoy the best live events Sacramento has to offer. For tickets and event details, visit sacktownsports.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
From UPS Chris, my son has been counting down the days till Thursday. We are so pumped for tonight. Light the beam! 5 exclamation points. Shout out UPS Chris. Shout out DeMar DeRozan. I gotta let the people know. So Chris Watkins, you put out a tweet a couple days ago that we've been talking about with Kevin O'Connor and Legend of Losing, and basically it was about trading, or which one was this one? This was benching,
the worst take of all time.
This was about benching DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
So you tweeted it. I quote tweeted it saying Kevin O'Connor refuses to come on our show, but and just talk about his Kings takes, but he has these dudes on his show that have less basketball knowledge than my 18-month-old daughter. And I'm sitting there, Chris, because, you know, when you have something on social media that's just kind of dragging, like when something's popping, I like to see the notifications on my phone because that's how I am. Then when it starts dragging a day or so later, I'll mute the conversation just so I don't do it. And funny enough, I found it, or funny enough, I had tweeted about Brock Purdy. Right, and with our guy Brad SF Niner. So I tweeted about it. I tweeted about it. Go to sit down, watching basketball. Go back to Twitter because I'm on it probably 20 hours a day, and literally I see 5 notifications on my phone. Thinking, what is
That's
this?
always kind of scary.
Yeah, I'm thinking, did I get caught up? Or what's going on? And I look down, and I got to confirm, what his, just so everybody knows. So I'm looking here, and I see DeMar DeRozan, and it says, this is a prime example of why I don't click on this app with an exclamation point. Well, you know what the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, well, is the A a 4 or is the E a 3? Turns out it was DeMar DeRozan. He responded back to my tweet, and he said, this is a prime example of why I don't click on this app. And everybody in the Kings kingdom, they were riding for DeMar, and it was great. And we were feeling good, man. We were feeling good. So Frankie said, you cooked on that one. I said, that was a collab cook by me and Chris Watkins. Here is the take that led DeMar to possibly delete
so bad,
the Twitter app.
That's crazy.
Here it is.
DeRozan, though, is like an interesting piece where I feel like I'm actually on the opposite end where I feel like they're going to more so regret the DeRozan. And I think they should probably even try to throw him on the bench because I just don't see how it makes sense. I think they should really go all in on the Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles movement.
Throw him. I don't know why they throw him on the bench. Like he's just
crazy. It's crazy.
Like it's
garbage.
even an option. Yeah.
It's just insane. I mean, it's just an insane thing to say. Like, it's one thing to it's totally fine to say, hey, I actually think the Kings might go and regret the DeMar DeRozan signing. Like, I think that he might be past his prime. I think that, they really need to emphasize defense, and DeMar's such an offensive guy. They like to emphasize threes, and DeMar's a mid-range guy. All that stuff makes sense, but then you lose every even ounce of credibility when you say, yeah, just throw him on the bench. Like that's even possible. Like, that's how it works in the NBA, that you could, even in theory, if DeMar was so bad, you could just bench him and there would be no repercussions, or, you would just have, frankly, the freedom to do it. Like, to be honest, it's a business and you're not going to be able to bench a future Hall of Famer, especially when you're the Sacramento Kings. But yeah, then to go on and say, for the Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles movement, that's just doubling down on a terrible take.
I said this at the roundtable when I was super juiced up. All right. If you don't have to talk about things that you don't really understand, you don't have to. You don't have to. Or if you actually think you understand it, just check yourself before you wreck yourself. 916, watching Minnesota look clunky on offense in their first game gives me more hope than I initially had. I think it takes them 5 to 10 games to smooth things out, but we might be in the same boat with DeRozan. Who knows? I'm very glad you ended with that piece, 916, because I was going to say that before I read it from your tweet. Yeah, it could happen with the Kings as well. I just feel like the DeMar DeRozan trade happened sooner. They've been working together. Julius Randle was coming back from injury. Dante DiVincenzo's plug and play. I would say, prop talk, be careful for the Dante DiVincenzo revenge game tonight. I will say that. Be careful for the Dante DiVincenzo revenge game tonight. But I do think that it's better to get Minnesota early because they clearly are still trying to figure some things out. That is for sure. Chris, real quick, I just wanted to say something.
Okay.
2 things on the former Kings.
Okay.
First, Tyrese Halliburton.
Yes.
I'm starting to think maybe he can't shoot. He's extremely streaky, and I'm starting to think that some of these crazy bad shooting performances that he's had, I think the jury is still out on whether or not. I know he's got, just let him shoot because he can shoot that, he shoots that way and it's fine. I think the jury, I wouldn't be surprised if we go through this season wondering, is he a shooter? I mean, he just goes so ice cold, and I'm looking here. I mean, he shoots it at 39%. So he clearly can shoot, but maybe it's just
last
the way
season's
he
the only
shoots.
season he shot under 40%.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been a ridiculous shooter. The jump shot's ugly, and that's been the thing that, if you he had that, what is he signed with now? Is he Adidas or something like? He just had his new shoe. Remember, his dad read it all out. I think it might have been. It was Puma. And he says, they said the jump shot wouldn't translate, and I think a lot of people had that fear about Tyrese, and so I'm more saying, like, you're not on your own. Like there is definitely I was definitely on it until he just kept shooting 40%, but I think the jump shot's really ugly. I had a lot of concerns, much like Lonzo, like when he was coming out of college, he had this weird, like, I'm pulling from the left side of my body over to the right side of my body, and it just kind of leads to a lot of issues. Like you can't really take motion shots. You can't really, or you have to adjust your jumper to take shots in motion. Floaters too has been a thing that Tyrese has been working on. I want to agree with you, but unfortunately, like, the numbers just say opposite. But I completely agree that when I watched Tyrese Halliburton, I didn't want to believe that the shot was legitimate. And I again would have questions if he's going to continue to shoot like this. And in the playoffs last year, he definitely had that stretch where he did go ice cold from 3. And so, yeah, I mean, Jason Tatum forgot how to shoot during the summer and in the playoffs last year. Maybe it is.
He's got a little
thing of,
hitchy woo thing too.
Yeah, and we see. I mean, Chet Holmgren changed his jump shot. Mikal Bridges changed his jump shot. Little tweaks can make really big differences. And again, Tyrese has a pretty unfundamental jumper. It wouldn't surprise me if at some point during his career, even though the results are there, he tweaks it a little, and a little tweak can go a really long way in ruining your jumper. So it's definitely something to monitor for sure.
Yeah, but you're right. The numbers as of right now, they don't lie. I'm watching, I'm thinking, this can't, and I don't even have a great look at jump shot, but I'm thinking this cannot be reality here, but he's been hitting. I wanted to say this about Buddy Hield, because obviously everybody knows where I've come from, the Bay Area. And in the Bay, Chris, I will say this, with the Warriors, because they've been so strapped for cash, I kind of came up with a nickname for them.
Okay.
And it's the Netflix show that everybody loves, Last Chance U.
Oh, okay.
And really the Warriors, because they've been so strapped for cash, they've had to make some of these Last Chance U players work, from the GP2s of the world. I would even say Dante DiVincenzo. They get these guys on cheap deals, and they just go all in. They figure out, hey, what is it that you're good at? Otto Porter Jr. had that run as well. Then he got out and he got paid. So I will say this, I don't know that Buddy is going to be as hot as he's been in the preseason and last night, but it would not surprise me if we see a career year from Buddy Hield, because the Warriors, they do kind of seem to have a bit of that system in place where they know whatever it is. Maybe the system is Steph and to a lesser degree Draymond, who got his first tech last night. But there's something about them that they're just kind of used to finding guys that haven't really found their place but can do certain things pretty well. So that's why I'm more so willing to buy into the Buddy Hield stuff than, I know a lot of Kings fans saying, just wait. And maybe he will revert back to Buddy, but I don't know what it is out there, but they are pretty good at turning assets that have lost some value into valuable assets again.
But the problem is Buddy's offense has never been the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like him putting up 22 points was never an issue. He averaged 20 points a game in Sacramento before, and people still wanted him out the building. The problem is the mindless turnovers, the lack of effort, to put it lightly, on defense. And I think it's a little bit telling that Buddy scored 22 points and only played 15 minutes. Like, I think Steve Kerr definitely sees some of the deficiencies in Buddy, and I think it's best to get Buddy in spurts. And if you're going to play him for 25, 30 minutes, that's really where you're going to see a lot of the warts from him. So I think the minutes is going to be the thing that I watch the most, because that'll tell you how much Steve Kerr actually does feel like, okay, I'm willing to give Buddy a bigger leash. But as of right now, I think he's just coming in and saying, if you see an open shot, take it, because we don't have that Klay Thompson. We can't just have Steph have all the pressure of shooting threes. Podziemski isn't as good of a 3-point shooter as even like a Jordan Poole was for them. I think they kind of need somebody else to put the 3-point pressure on the defense besides Steph. And that's what Buddy's there to do. But we'll see if he's going to be able to play in big games in closing minutes for them. I mean, that's really the tough part for Buddy is, can you have Buddy Hield out there last 5 minutes of a game where you're down by 3? Is his plus minus essentially going to be worth the squeeze? Is the juice going to be worth the squeeze for Buddy? That's the part that we still have to see.
Yeah, fair enough. How are you feeling going into the season? What are you excited about? What are you worried about? And does the NBA have a problem with all those dang 3-point shots? Stiles and Watkins, Sacramento Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets, but I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there. To learn more, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves, but don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Every 4 years, the world watches every corner kick, every save, every pass. The world watches its most beautiful game played at its highest level. And for a moment, the world stops turning for soccer. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026, supporting possibilities turned into achievements on the biggest stage. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A. member FDIC.
Did you know that replacing garage doors is the biggest return on investment homeowners can get on improvements? Jason Ross here, and let me tell you about the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, a family-owned and operated company with third-generation owners that's been in business for 71 years right here in Sacramento. With new garage doors from Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, you'll not only get the wow factor, but you'll also know that you're working with a well-respected and proven company. Residential and commercial, brand new garage doors, or repairs to existing doors, they do it all. Take advantage of their free at-home estimates on new garage doors, or check out the showroom with no appointment needed. And while you're at it, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports, and receive $100 off a new garage door paired with a new garage door opener. Check out their website at ohdsac.com or call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
How are you feeling going into the season? What are you excited about? What are you worried about? And let's have a conversation about the NBA and that old three-point line. Chris, very simply put, what are you excited about going into this season?
In general, for the NBA, you're talking about?
We can go NBA. We can go Kings specific. I'm thinking Kings specific.
Okay. For Kings specific, the thing I would say I'm most excited for is, can we just put the DeMar thing aside? Like, let's not do DeMar, because that's like, it feels so obvious.
Yes.
I feel it's funny because I feel like this might be the opposite of what you would be you personally would be excited for, but I am kind of excited to see just the yearly back and forth of Kevin Huerter and Keon Ellis, because I do think at this point, I'm hoping it's going to end up being a basketball conversation and it's not going to be a political conversation, which is actually, I think, the part that you don't like the most about that is we can't just bench Kevin Huerter because he might not produce. Like, I hope it's a conversation of either I'm hoping it's a conversation of both are playing so well, which one brings more to the unit. But I just think it's going to be a constant pull of, hey, maybe there's an 8-game stretch where this makes, or where Kevin Huerter's playing really, really well, and it makes all the sense in the world for Kevin to be in. And then maybe Keon has a really big defensive game. Maybe injuries are going to cause that lineup to shake up a bit. I just think from a storyline perspective, I think that's just a really, really fascinating one, because to me, it's kind of it's a kind of a symbol of the Kings' bigger issues and their bigger identity crisis, I guess you can say, where it's Kevin Huerter obviously represents them leaning so far into offense, but Keon Ellis is kind of the thing that they actually need. It's almost like Kevin's the bad boy, and oh man, wouldn't it be great? He's got a motorcycle and a leather jacket, and Keon's the nice person who's tutoring you and helping you out, and he's the thing that you actually need. And it feels like that's just going to be the constant push and pull of this season is, should we lean into our offense or should we try and get some semblance of defense into this lineup?
Yeah, and I can't believe you. So you want the push and pull? Or you're excited for that?
Yeah, I just think it's more I'm excited because I think both guys are going to give a really good case. I don't think it's going to – I think it's going to almost be the opposite of last year where Kevin is almost like forcing us to say – okay, Kevin's really going to like make us pull this. I mean, and obviously Kevin doesn't have a say in it, but like Kevin Huerter was playing so bad that it was, okay, any day now he's going to get pulled. Any day now he's going to get pulled, to where it just felt like we were waiting for it. I think this year it's going to be, they're playing so well. It's a matter of who you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, like you said, I want to keep everything just straight up. Who's been playing better?
Yeah.
What makes the most sense?
Exactly.
That is what has always annoyed me about it.
Yeah.
It's not that it's literally just, it never made sense to me. So hopefully that gets resolved and he has an opportunity tonight. And that Sam Amick sound that we're going to get to in about 12 minutes here, Sam Amick kind of is saying what at least I was thinking and what others are thinking, but he gives a different perspective on the Keon Ellis side of this, less about Kevin Huerter and more about Keon Ellis, but it connects back to preseason, in which a lot of people said it didn't matter. Maybe it mattered more than we thought. As far as what I'm excited about, I do think I'm just excited as a whole, really, for De'Aaron Fox, because De'Aaron Fox, I don't want to say I've been hard on him, but I've wanted to see how far can De'Aaron Fox take this thing? Yeah. You got $345 million on the line if you get to all NBA, if you ball out. And you saw your buddy Sabonis do it in a season where you were a 9 seed. So this isn't a matter of, oh, well, nobody got it because we weren't a 4 seed or a 5 seed. Domantas Sabonis was third team all NBA as a 9 seed, and they didn't get into the playoffs. So not that I want them to be in that situation, but if you put up the numbers, you can put yourself in that conversation. So I want to see how De'Aaron Fox handles all this. Yeah. I want to see does he try to force things at all, because he knows he's got to get the numbers and he's in Sacramento. And he was really, and I love what he did in putting in his blessing and kind of doing his part to get DeMar DeRozan. But DeMar DeRozan, how could that affect his usage? So I think the biggest storyline is, as people sat there and we took a call from somebody, I think it might have been Dwayne. Sorry if it wasn't Dwayne, but we took a call yesterday still talking about Tyrese Halliburton. They get off to a good start. They get a W. Is this going to be the year where people say, you know what, where we don't talk about Tyrese Halliburton in that segment anymore, Chris, because we don't care because we got a guy. Because the only reason we still talk about Tyrese Halliburton is because people are still trying to figure out who won the trade.
Right.
Not necessarily the trade, but did we trade the right guy? So I think I'm all in on De'Aaron Fox showing us what exactly it is and who exactly it is he's going to be. Because we know you got an extra kid now, De'Aaron. $345 million.
It goes a long way.
Goes a long way. Private school, whatever it is. So, I'm excited for that, and we'll get to what we're worried about a little bit later in the show. Wanted to get your thoughts on this, Chris. So, in Major League Baseball, you have an issue in the World Series. You got our guy Big Unit on the TV screen right now, Randy Johnson, Livermore's finest. The 3 true outcomes in baseball has been a problem: walks, strikeouts, and home runs. It's just not the best looking game. You get to the playoffs, all of a sudden people shorten up their swings and it's much more exciting because they're trying to win baseball games. In the NFL, we still don't know what a pass interference is. They tried to figure it out. We kind of know what a catch is, but we still don't really know. And the whole issue with the hip drop tackles and you can't touch a quarterback, and is this turning into flag football? That hasn't really affected the NFL, but we know it's an issue as well. I saw people freaking out, Chris, and just media members saying how the NBA, and we see this on the text line specifically with the Kings, but the NBA is starting to have a 3-point problem. And look, this might have been on the heels of the Celtics that were literally just trying to break the record. They're sprinting to the 3-point line, but the NBA, the watchability of the product is starting to suffer from the amount of 3-pointers. I have the NBA league averages, Chris, per game we can go from 2020. It was 3 points taken per game, 34.1 in 2020, 34.6 2021, 35.2 in 2022, 34.2 in 2023, 35.1 in 2024. And right now it's early, Chris, but it's at 36.8 so far in 2024, 2025. When you're watching the game as an NBA fan, are you worried that the watchability is going to be affected because people are just chucking up threes?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the problem isn't, I wouldn't say even the problem is them chucking up threes. I think the problem is that they're not making them at a very high percentage. Like if a team is shooting like how the Celtics are shooting, or like how the Warriors have shot in the past, like I think it's incredibly entertaining, exciting basketball. I think you can maybe argue that it's the most exciting. It's almost like if you have a baseball game that just has 10 runs and 5 of them are home runs. It just feels like every play is a big one, and it's a very exciting one and everything. But the problem becomes when you have a team like the Kings that have shot 25% throughout the preseason. And I think that's really when it gets highlighted. So, I wouldn't say the problem is that they're chucking them up. I guess the problem is that they're not making them. And I guess you can say they go hand in hand. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough when you eliminate dunks, layups, mid-range shots, pull-ups, ISOs, the Allen Iverson kind of crossovers and seeing a real one-on-one kind of battle play out during the middle of a game. It just doesn't happen, and I understand it. And I think the big combination of more so baseball and basketball than some of the stuff you laid out for football, even though it does touch football, but just not in the ways that we're talking about. I think it's all analytics. Like, I think it's just the fact that when you get too much analytics in baseball, you get the 3 true outcomes. They tell you like, it's much point per possession for basketball. Right. It's like, it's just, it makes more sense to take a 3, and even if you don't make it, it just makes more sense to take them because of the math of it. And I think that's the real problem. And I don't think we're ever going to get further away from it in baseball or in basketball. I think the numbers are just getting more and more involved. And I think that the only way you can really adjust it is by adjusting the 3-point line to make it a less efficient shot in terms of the percentages in which guys make them, and kind of force people to go back towards the middle of the paint and try and get buckets that way. But I don't think that it's a problem that's going away anytime soon, but I definitely think it is a problem.
36%, that's what the league shot per game from 3-point range. And right now they're shooting 35%. Real quick, Chris, 2015, 2016, when the Warriors lost a 3-1, but they set that record for the regular season. How many threes do you think were attempted per game? Right now we're at 36.8. What were we at in 2016?
How many they took?
Everyone, league-wide,
per game. I would say
right now.
They probably took 30.
24.1 per game. And now we're at 36.8. All right, Sam Amick joined the morning show to talk about Kevin Huerter and Keon Ellis. We discussed what he had to say on the other side. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Despite having no experience, Gavin Newsom made Jessica Morse his, quote, wildfire specialist. The result? Under Newsom and Morse, insurance rates and utility bills skyrocketed. Millions of dollars were slashed from the state's fire prevention budget, and they were even caught lying about their record, while millions of acres burned and families lost their homes. Now Gavin has chosen Jessica Morse again, this time to run for Congress. We have a better choice. Kevin Kiley. As our congressman, Kevin Kiley has worked across party lines to secure millions for wildfire protection and expand water supplies. And Kevin Kiley's bill to protect Lake Tahoe will bring up to $415 million home to our district to reduce the threat of fires and restore the ecosystem of the lake, delivering results and making a difference. Let's keep Kevin Kiley working for us.
I'm Kevin Kiley. I approve this message. Paid for by Kevin Kiley for Congress.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
October is ending, but I want to keep the fall fun going. So I shopped Kohl's lowest prices of the season. I saved 30% on top active brands like Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. Then I got my kids some boots for under $22, scored 50% off Food Network baking must-haves, and earned Kohl's cash. Yep, it doesn't get better than Kohl's. Select styles. Offers in October 27th. Coupons do not apply to Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
For 76 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 76th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
It's 4th and goal. The pressure's on. The home team needs this to win it. No matter what you're up against, it's always a win at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Special finance options and trade-in offers make it easier than ever to upgrade your ride. Because at Stockton Honda, we believe everyone deserves a winning deal.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
The presidential general election is November 5th. All registered voters will receive their ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Whoa! Hold up! What? Light the beam! Light it!
Sacktown Sports. Text 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins. Sacktown Sports. Taking you up to 2 p.m., 1 hour down, 3 to go, then a couple more hours with the Drive Guys, and it's time for your Sacramento Kings.
But I'm thinking Sacramento.
Thank you, Stephen A. So am I.
De'Aaron Fox.
His brother is a problem, and it's going to be box office.
I'd like to say, too, check out our YouTube. We got a poll going on how many games you think the Kings will win this year. Love to get your vote on that. You know, democracy, it's that time of year. Let's see what happens.
There you go. We ready. That's what we're saying. Are the Kings ready? Whoa! To let us know who that two guard is going to be. There's been a lot of talk, Chris. We said going into camp, this is going to be a big deal. Kevin Huerter didn't, he was playing. He was trying to come back. He gets cleared yesterday. Mike Brown a couple days ago prior, he says that if Kevin is ready, he will start. Keon was the starter throughout the preseason, and a lot of us were thinking Keon did enough based on last season to now be the two guard. All right, but Sam Amick was on the morning show, and he had this to say. And if you look at what Kevin Huerter and Keon Ellis have done in their careers, and Keon Ellis specifically last season, as well as he played, Kyle Draper during the Kings roundtable said, well, they didn't win games. So it's not as if they rattled off a bunch of wins. And Sam Amick is now saying, if you look at what Keon did in the preseason, maybe some of that was a dress rehearsal, and Keon didn't do as much as he could have done to get this done. Here it is.
Yeah, I mean, your logic is sound. I think the part that I'm surprised by, and I think it kind of is what it is that, having connected with Mike Brown in the preseason and gleaned some of his thoughts, like Keon had every chance to go win this job. And I don't want to pretend that I broke down his tape from the preseason. I did not. I'm just reacting to the choices that have been made. But, he was put in a position to succeed. And it really felt like Mike's preference was to go with Keon, with the idea being that, and you hit on this earlier, that like the workload on De'Aaron is so great that they needed to, relieve some of that pressure with the guy defensively next to him who was going to make life easier. And coaching staff is going with her, which it certainly appears they are. Then, I mean, it just kind of is what it is. Like, didn't get the job done in the preseason. That could change. And I also was fascinated by the part of the discussion you guys hit on with, what should their game plan be this season when it comes to, like, within the context of the last 2 years? Do you try to recreate the historic best in the NBA offense of 2 years ago, which means can you get Kevin Huerter back to that level that he was at within this new context? Or are you going to go farther down the track that you tried to go down last year with an improved defense? I don't know the answer because, they do have defensive issues that we are going to see on a nightly basis. And I'm very curious to see kind of where they take it from here.
My initial thought on what Sam Amick said, I do think that maybe they wanted to see more from Keon Ellis, but I'm looking here, Chris, at Keon's numbers throughout the preseason. That first game, he only had 2 points, and we know it's not all based on points. He only played 14 minutes. The next game, he had 12 points in 27 minutes. The next game after that, he had 11 points in 30 minutes, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. So I'm not even going to continue to go through the rest of the preseason.
I got the average. 7.8 points per game, 45% from the field, 29% from 3, on 3.4 attempts per game through 5 games.
So, and
1.2 steals per game too.
And
he kept up the defense.
There you go. And we're talking about a team that didn't win a dang game.
No.
So
he
nobody
technically shot above the team average from 3 too. He was 5 of 17 from 3.
And that helps me with where I'm going. I think that what Sam is saying, we're going to see him tonight, we can have this conversation, is valid. But from where I'm standing, if somebody plays well and then going into the next season doesn't play, and he didn't even play poorly, but isn't showing you something in the preseason, meanwhile the guy they're going up against isn't even playing in the preseason, that tells me ultimately that tells me that Keon never was really in the running to start. Not going into this, the season didn't end. Last season didn't end with the coaching staff thinking Keon's going to be our 2. And if it did, there was a shift at some point to where they said, actually, I know our defense was top 5 with Keon, something like that. But we're going to go back to Kevin Huerter. You know, he's played well for us. He had a down season. And it's the opposite, a guy who, hey, he had a career year and then he had a down year. Mm-hmm. We're going to give Kevin the benefit of the doubt. So who do you want to give the benefit of the doubt to?
Yeah.
Somebody in Keon Ellis that played well for a 15-game stretch or something like that. He played well throughout the season, but specifically when he was starting. Or do you want to give the benefit of the doubt to somebody who has been who's been in the starting lineup for a couple of years now, had a down season? He even mentioned the shoulder bothering him prior to this injury. So let's give the benefit of the doubt to Kevin Huerter. So I get that, but listening to Sam has kind of got my gears rolling, making me feel like they were always going to start Kevin Huerter.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely tend to lean more on your side of the fence for sure. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if one guy, like you said, if one guy just isn't playing and the other one is, and yeah, he's not setting the world on fire, but it's not like he was, out here looking. I mean, there was guys who looked much worse in the preseason, and Keon really just kind of flew under the radar. I wouldn't say he played poorly, but I wouldn't say he was one of the biggest standouts of the preseason. Yeah, I think I read more into that what you're saying and what Sam's saying there too, is that there was more so an opportunity for Keon to really take it and run with it. And I guess he just didn't.
How though?
I guess it would have been to have a lot of double-digit games to shoot. I don't know. I mean, that's just what I'm reading from it, is that I think that's the only opportunity Keon would have had to take that spot, is if he just looked like a different player, not even a different player, but just a more enhanced version. And maybe Mike through the preseason just felt like it was kind of the same guy that they got last year, which is still a very valuable piece, which is still a really good piece, but is a piece that throughout the season last year, even when Kevin was playing well or not playing well, they still decided to go with Kevin in that starting lineup over Keon Ellis, even though tons of people were shouting from the mountaintops that Keon Ellis should have started, and it pretty much took Kevin getting hurt. So I still am on the side personally that I think Keon makes a lot of sense in that starting lineup. I do think what Sam laid out there, that, with so much pressure on De'Aaron Fox offensively and defensively as well, I think it just makes sense to have a guy like Keon Ellis, especially at the start of games, really press up on another team's best ball handler. But, this is the direction the team's going to go. And like I said, this is what I'm excited for. This is what I want to see throughout the season. They always say iron sharpens iron. Mm-hmm. And hopefully I think that's what the Kings are banking on here, is that this is going to make both guys better. And hopefully it's not both guys looking over their shoulder playing cautiously, because that could be the inverse of this, is that Kevin knows that Keon isn't far back and he understands, I missed 3 shots in a game. Maybe things get a little bit tight for me. And same with Keon. Maybe he starts to stretch himself a little bit too far because he says, oh man, clearly what I'm doing isn't good enough. Right. Let me try and show Mike what else I got. And Keon stops being himself. So,
but that's the fear.
Yes. That is the fear involved.
Exactly.
That's how it could go bad.
Exactly what you just said. That's what I'm thinking when you're saying, when we're talking about the preseason.
Yeah.
Okay. So they basically force-fed DeMar DeRozan that first game when we were in the building, which we were all okay with. But so Keon's just going to do stuff that he wouldn't actually do in a real game. That's why I think that deep down they knew that they were going to go with Kevin Huerter, which is fine to me. I would just say, if it works, and I hope it works, cool. If it doesn't work, you cannot drag this thing out like you did last season. Yeah. And basically, because it didn't even make anything better. If somebody thinks, it's better to just pull the Band-Aid off, right? And just say, hey, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Because to me, Kevin Huerter, even though he never got pulled, he was playing as if he was worried about getting pulled.
Yeah.
So he's almost, it was like there was like an anxiousness. So it's not even like he's playing the idea, and every game we go up there in the pregame presser and somebody asks Mike, and Mikey says, oh, well, we're not changing anything. We're not doing anything. So once everybody thinks that not to say that we are the collective we know any better than Mike Brown, but when it gets to a point where it's the only thing being talked about, and Kevin Huerter did get pulled for one Chris Duarte, who, good luck to him and everything he's doing in Toronto. Chicago. He's out there somewhere. You just I just think when it gets to be so obvious, you're not actually helping someone the way you think you're helping them.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here trying to think if maybe that this might have been, and I was literally trying to play out the season in my head of like, maybe this is a move that's meant so that they aren't going back and forth, so that it is kind of a, hey, Kevin, this is your job, but we didn't want to do a Keon start the season. Yeah. He doesn't quite play how we wanted him to play, and then we go to you, and then you don't quite play how we want you to play, so then we go back to, like, I'm just trying to play out in my head there if that maybe played a factor into it, that it's just, hey, Kevin, it feels a little unfair because Kevin hasn't gotten any game run, and so it does kind of feel like you're sending him out there,
right?
Not to fail, but I don't know if you're putting him in the best situation possible to go out there when he hasn't played even preseason basketball. Like, he hasn't played competitive 5-on-5 basketball in, I don't know, when did he get hurt? March? So
none of that makes sense either.
It's been a really long time, and it feels like if you're just going to throw him out there, I hope for Kevin's sake, you're going to give him a leash. Like, I hope you give him 10 to 15 games to figure it out, because the reality is there's going to be and whatever, it's outside noise, but there's going to be tons of people if Kevin Huerter doesn't come out at the start of the season and shoot. Frankly, I kind of think he has to shoot 40% the first 10 games of the season in order for people to just not have questions. If Kevin's at 35% and it feels like every time he hoists it up, you don't really know if it's going to go in or out, and you don't feel like he doesn't get the, oh my gosh, that shot's going up, I just feel like it's going in. If he loses that, I kind of feel like there's going to be a lot of people very loudly clamoring for Keon Ellis.
What will be the main storyline when we look back on this season? Man. Could it be Kevin Huerter's bounce back? Could it be De'Aaron Fox turning into a bona fide superstar? Or could it be the Keegan Murray Kawhi League? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings open their season tonight against Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tip at 7 p.m.
Fans on their feet.
Listen to every Kings game all season long
on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Febreze.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up, then spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
What will be the main storyline when we look back on this season? Kevin Huerter's bounce back. Fox is a bona fide superstar. Keegan Murray, Kawhi Leonard type leap. Domantas Sabonis finally getting respect. DeMar DeRozan cements himself as a Hall of Famer. Could be any of those things. Could be Malik Monk finally gets that sixth man. You know what this is turning into, Chris? The Malik Monk sixth man situation. It's turning into Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon with the slam dunk competition.
Oh my goodness.
That's what it's turning into.
Yeah, he might. I mean, and it wouldn't be funny, but it would be something if he just never ends up winning it. And it's like
Right.
Aaron Gordon, I don't think ever won it,
Yes,
right?
Zach LaVine kept winning it.
Right, exactly. And so, it could definitely be one of those things where I think Dante DiVincenzo's a hot name. And then you might also see, you don't see it often with the 6-man, but you might see some fatigue potentially where it's like, like Malik's in it every year. Why not give it to Dante DiVincenzo or Bobby Portis maybe, or any of the other names. Bobby had a really good start to the season, even though he's a starter. And we learned last year that, starting minutes and stats still count for your 6-man of the year, apparently.
There are a couple underrated revenge type situations now that I'm thinking about it for tonight. You have Dante DiVincenzo coming back to Sacramento. I think there could be some revenge there for Dante. He's just going to be pulling. We know that. I also think, Chris, now that you mention it, you could even say something with Malik Monk a little bit, with Naz Reid in the building. Malik Monk, when he sat down with us, he said, he didn't say him by name, but he said, hey, the 2 seasons ago, they said it was something with my numbers and we were the 3 seed. Then last season, they said that we were a 9 seed. And then the guy that they gave it to, they included his stats from when he started. And I thought this was about the 6-man. So I could see Malik Monk having a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, battle of the 6-man. I could get down with that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Naz Reid angle is definitely a really interesting one. I'm sure Malik's going to try and dunk on him or something today. He wants to make up for it. He probably wants to put a little demerit on his record. And I'm sure, Malik, like we said yesterday, last year, he in game 1 gave us the highlight of the season, the big dunk on Chris Dunn that ended up being the number 2 play, I think, on NBA's top 100 plays of last year. Wouldn't surprise me if, the energy's feeling right. I think the building, I can't remember who called earlier, but somebody called earlier and was like, the energy in Golden One Center is probably going to be absolutely insane. And it was Ben. I feel like, man, the first, 6-7 minutes of that game, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to miss the opening tip-off. I wouldn't want to miss the pregame intros. I wouldn't want to miss the first 5 minutes of the game. I just think the energy is going to be through the roof. I was talking with some Kings social people yesterday. They said that the video that they're doing for the Kings intro is their favorite in couple years. So I think that's going to be off the hook too. And then I just think, we're going to see this team get off to a big start. I think we saw that they really force-fed DeMar in that first preseason game. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Mike Brown's going to want to get that going early and often and kind of set the table for the rest of the game, where we know Sabonis likes to dominate in that first quarter.
Yes, he does.
And then we'll see if we get to see a little bit of the answer to what the Kings do in the clutch tonight. Looked really bad in the preseason game. The one game De'Aaron and DeMar both played in it. I'm interested to see just how those clutch minutes end up panning out.
I'm glad you said the DeMar DeRozan aspect, because what I was going to say is what we've seen with the Kings before. Malik Monk, when they were back east and down south and his family was in town and he started to press a little bit. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe Malik Monk goes off, or maybe he's trying a little bit too hard. We've seen that happen with Malik before. And just the team as in general, the expectations so high in that building, do they press a little bit? And when we talk about adding somebody like DeMar DeRozan, I think he is perfect, picture perfect for this situation. Now, here's a guy, I'm going Chris Collinsworth because we got NFL tonight too. Now, here's a guy who's been there. Now, here's a guy who's done that. And DeMar DeRozan is the type of guy who not to say that the Kings are for sure going to win, but DeMar DeRozan is the type of guy that can make sure that everybody it just takes a deep breath, right? When things get going and Golden One is rocking, and not that they look like a deer in headlights, but they're all right. Well, everybody is here, and Anthony Edwards is here, and the crowd in Sacramento, so much is on our shoulders. DeMar DeRozan, the type of guy, give it to him, let him get to his spot, put 2 on the board, put 4 on the board, whatever it is, and kind of say, hey, it's just another season. It's just another game. Let's rock and roll. Because I do feel like that the 3-point savants and the 3-point expertise that the Kings have, that is what I have seen in the past kind of go ice baby when things get a little tight. And that's why I think so often Sabonis is the starting guy, because let's just kind of get lathered up and not worry too much about, chucking up from 8,000 feet away. So I do think adding somebody like DeMar DeRozan is perfect for a situation like this.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, we've seen that they play really bad in games where there's really any sort of level of expectation, and it feels like, especially at home, it's just something about the environment. Golden One Center gets bumping and it gets jumping, and I think that sometimes it can be a detriment to the players, and I'm not going to tell Golden One Center to calm down. I'm going to tell the players to be better under those kind of circumstances, because it's only going to get more insane. If they make deep playoff runs, that building is going to be insane. And so I think that they need to start that honestly might be a thing that I try and champion all season long, is these guys at some point have to take care of home court. Like it is such a major advantage. We just revealed or read yesterday that ESPN voted Golden One Center the best arena in basketball. It's got all the bells and whistles, everything that you would need to succeed. It's got the fan base. You have a carrot dangling over you if you even need any more incentive to want to win. You get to light the beam. You get to properly celebrate. It just feels like at some point here, the Warriors had that season where they actually did beat the Kings, and they were horrible on the road, but 30 and 10 at home or something like that. I would like for this Kings team that should be really good, the easiest way to guarantee that they're not going to be in the play-in is just simply taking care of your home court. If you can take care of, if you can get 30 wins at home, you would have to be horrible on the road to not make the playoffs. I think it's really as simple as that. If they just use Golden One Center this season to their advantage, there's no excuse. They should be one of the best home court teams in the NBA. They're used to it. They're used to the energy by now. And now they have the talent to, even if they slip, they should be able to recover, and the fans will be right there behind them the entire time.
Yeah. So, and look, it's not just DeMar DeRozan. Everybody they've been through another year of this. So who do the Kings want to be? Do they want to be a team that kind of folds under pressure? And
that's who they've been, to be real.
That is who they've been. The only time, Chris, I was going to say is those games in Sacramento. Right, when they went to the playoffs, they did show up early. They did. And that was when, honestly, you can make the argument that was because a lot of people thought the Warriors were going to take care of business.
No pressure.
Then once, the Kings are actually going to do this. Right. We know how that ends. But it's a new season, new expectations, and hopefully a new result. We go around the NBA when we return. C-Bomber introduces the Intuit Dome. And is Steph Curry taking shots at his old Splash Brothers? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunk Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on two wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
Don't miss Stoney's Rockin' Rodeo's Halloween bashes this weekend. That's right, Stoney has Halloween costume contests each night, including sexiest, scariest, and best, and a superhero/villain contest this Sunday night. Winners get a dash for cash on the dance floor, free late night food, country dancing, and Halloween fun all weekend long. I'll see you on the dance floor.
Keep the cargo in your truck's bed dry and protected with a bed cover from TruckSmart. Bed covers that fold up, roll up, and lift up are ready to install on your truck. Turn your vehicle into a hauling machine. TruckSmart truck and SUV accessories in Rockland and Auburn.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the only store in the world to be named the top 100 shop for 40 years straight. Yes, the only golf shop in the world. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Try any club on the shelf on the driving range for free and let our staff show you everything you need to look and play better. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue, Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
You've heard the saying, penny wise, pound foolish, right? It means you do something that will save you a little bit right now, just pennies, but that ends up costing you pounds in the end.
People put off tuning up their furnace because they don't want to take the time or spend the money to get it done.
But it only takes 90 minutes and costs just $87, which is just pennies compared to the huge problems and expenses that can rack up if you don't get your furnace tuned up.
You'll also save money on your energy bills, and your system will last longer.
So don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Call Bell Brothers for a precision tune-up and professional cleaning today.
Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Fall's right around the corner, and there's no better way to experience nature and everything that Northern California has to offer than in a Jeep. And right now, it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And they've got the deals and selection for you. From sales to service, they're going to prove to you why they deserve your business. Their GM, Chuck Dean, he has this talent of not only getting you the best deal in town, but he also is able to build an inventory that other dealers are jealous of. SacSuperstore.com and located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the only store in the world to be named the top 100 shop for 40 years straight. Yes, the only golf shop in the world. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Try any club on the shelf on the driving range for free and let our staff show you everything you need to look and play better. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue, Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Groove dealers.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Sam Morrell returns to the Crest for a night of nonstop laughs, and of course, Sacktown Sports wants you in the building. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline in an hour, 12:30, to win those pair of tickets. We will pick a lucky number, probably something associated with the Kings, and give yourself a chance to see Sam Morrell at the Crest Theater in beautiful downtown Sacramento next May, courtesy of Live Nation. And with that being said, let's take a trip around the NBA.
One day that'll be around the NHL.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Is there any other NBA theme songs?
Not really.
NFL has like 6, and some of them are like fair use, like the ones before Red Zone.
Yeah, the NFL Films ones.
Fly Away.
Yeah.
SpongeBob. Yeah, SpongeBob uses those too, I think.
Timber by Pitbull. Motivate.
Motivate definitely makes me think of basketball.
But those change every season.
Every playoffs they have one.
Mo Bamba.
Yeah, in a way. I guess basketball.
I was just
actually don't know who makes that.
We have a couple NFL ones. I was just thinking for some variety. Okay.
You got that bad. You can probably do like some Space Jam music too.
Yeah.
I mean, jock jams.
That's not.
I feel
the
like
same,
jock jams in general are like a basketball vibe.
And speaking of, songs, we'll have a Return of the Dog segment with some of our who.
That's right. Return of the Dog segment is back.
Oh yeah, only
after a prop talk segment, we will get to all of that. But that is in the 1:00 hour. We're about to go around the NBA right now. Steve Ballmer introduces the Intuit Dome, and he does it in a way that only Steve Ballmer can.
Pretty freaking cool, man.
I hope you gentlemen heard the false start there by Steve Ballmer too. Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. Listen.
You're just waiting for them to.
He's just so excited
to chill out. There you go, Steve Ballmer. Hey, it looked like it was rocking. You had Devin Booker say that he did miss a free throw and he attributed it to the wall. He said, "Hey, $2 billion and you build a wall." So I think that it's going to be a great experience downtown. No, he said it.
I'm glad Chris said it.
He said it. Devin Booker said it.
Could you imagine Vivek doing that? Trying to do that?
Why not?
Like screen?
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
Doing the intro there?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I can't. Yeah, I was like, I could imagine.
Him trying to scream.
Yeah,
I hope he
hype
does
guy.
tonight, but he won't.
No.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe he would have at Fan Fest.
Do you think we're going to get a Keegan speech today? They always do like the, hey, fans,
Who's gonna
excited
do it?
for the season.
I think it'll be DeRozan.
What's up, Vancouver?
Yeah.
Hey, guys, we're really excited that you're out here tonight.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
I was watching his brother last night. It's not great.
Nothing like us. Nothing like us.
I'm like, this is not it.
From the left hand to everything. It's just like
not. It's literally like what we talked about with the Rugrats.
Yeah.
When you see
bizarre.
a Rugrat that is similar, but different. It's Tommy and Timmy.
Yep.
That's what it is. All right.
Should be Mason Jones giving a speech.
Couple of Warriors pieces here. This first one is Draymond already in playoff form. Gets a technical foul in the first game of the season. Here it is.
Be physical, and then every now and then there's one of those soft ones that kind of throws you off.
Draymond's going to get the technical foul. Well, you can see that one coming. They were trying to calm him down, and Draymond just kept coming, but
I didn't realize Pods was wearing a face mask last night.
Yeah, and he could not see the rim. That was a problem.
Horrible.
Yeah,
people are worried about Draymond. Okay?
Yeah,
this is what they're talking about.
Why are they worried about Draymond?
This is what they're talking
There's no
about.
need to be worried about Draymond. All right, let's keep the Warriors news going. This is Steph Curry, and this is going a bit viral as all the vibe. There's 2022 vibes, and the team is so deep, and there's no egos. People are asking, did Steph Curry take a shot at his old buddy, old pal, who they get going tonight, the Mavs do, Klay Thompson. Here it is.
The energy's been great from day one of training camp. It's a beautiful locker room. Guys that are happy to be here, happy to play the way that we do. I understand everybody can get an opportunity. Coach has done a pretty good job of explaining, the situation we're all in, like in a positive way of, again, how many guys he would like to play and how many guys can play. And to your point, you have to have, again, a commitment and no agendas, no egos, or healthy egos of when you're out there, like you're supposed to be out there, but if it's not your night, you can't bring the team down with your energy. So I haven't seen any red flags with that, which has been great.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I was out in the Bay for a long time. That he's taking a shot at Clay.
Yeah.
He can say
when you play bad, bring in the energy
that
down.
was it.
Come on.
It wasn't
Come
the
on.
ego thing.
No,
it wasn't the ego thing.
No.
It was when it's not your night,
Yeah.
bringing the rest of the team down.
Yeah.
That was straight up a shot at Klay Thompson. He can
100%.
say it's not. He'll deny it. Really interesting, Chris. I mean, like I said, they were always at kind of two different points of life.
Yeah.
Steph having the family, Klay just kind of doing his thing. I never really knew how close they were outside of basketball.
Yeah.
So you throw in something, obviously they're close just from the decade of playing together, but throw in something like this and how things ended, who knows? I think they'll always have love for each other, but I don't really know how close they're going to be when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean that's just a straight up shot, and I can't imagine that Klay, who is I won't say he's maybe I will say he's emotional. I mean I definitely think that he's somebody who is just a very introspective guy. Like I think he definitely keeps to himself a lot, and something tells me that this isn't going to sit well with him.
No.
I don't think he's just going to let that brush off his shoulder, and they can try and spice it however they want. I think that this relationship is very, very clearly damaged, and something tells me that Klay is not going to be super cheery when he returns to Golden State. I'm sure they'll lay out the red carpet or the blue carpet and everything, but I don't think Klay really feels the same way about the Warriors. I feel like he thinks that they chose Draymond over him.
Yeah,
straight up.
And I think maybe Steph at this point has been the peacekeeper. Maybe he just felt like, you know what, Klay, he really did too much. He did a little bit too much. Klay got cashed out a couple times, so he can say what he wants. All right, Zach Edey. Everybody wanted Zach Edey on the Kings. Well, a lot of people did. Zach Edey, who balled out in preseason, he fouled out once in his college career during the 5th game of his freshman season. He fouled out in his first NBA game in just 14 minutes of playing time. Chris, how does that happen?
I mean, it's kind of what happens when the game is moving a lot faster than what you've ever seen it. You kind of, where normally you might have had an opportunity to block somebody, all of a sudden they can contort their body a little bit differently, or at least know how to. The thing that I noticed, it wasn't great because he was going against Walker Kessler, but both of those guys look very slow. Walker Kessler and Zach Edey. I think the difference is Zach Edey's a little bit bigger than he is, and so it's just the movement yesterday didn't look as seamless as what I thought it did in the preseason. And then the big thing is they're taking away the post-ups. Like, they're not going to be able to post Zach Edey up 10 times a game. How is he going to be able to be impactful when he's not getting fed the ball and when he's really just getting it in the flow? We'll see. I mean, I'm not going to judge this dude off his first game. That's just not fair. But, I mean, obviously, I think it's a big concern. You foul out in 14 minutes. I think that's a pretty big sign that maybe the game was moving a little bit too fast for you, but I think that's natural in game one.
Well, sorry, it was he fouled out with just 14 minutes of time.
Yes, he played 14 minutes of game action.
Exactly, exactly. 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Shams Charania tests confirm a fractured left hand for Pelicans guard DeJounte Murray. Sources tell ESPN Murray is now sidelined for an extended period of time. That's just unfortunate for DeJounte Murray. I think this guy is a baller, and the Pelicans, they still got a good amount of talent, but they're going to have to go on without him for a little bit of time, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know how long you miss with a hand. I'm not sure if it's his dominant hand or non-dominant hand, but obviously seems like something that you're going to miss at least a couple weeks for if you straight up broke your hand. Really big hit for the Pelicans. I mean, we think that the injury risk with them is Zion, and CJ McCollum hasn't been the
Zion didn't play either.
Model of health. Yeah, and Zion was sick out of nowhere to start the season. So not a great sign for the Pelicans. Pretty bad omen if you're starting game one and you already have 2 of your best players out.
Pistons, last but not least, got a technical foul for too many players. You heard of too many players on the field. What about too many players on the court?
Nope.
They had 6 players on the court that got a technical foul, and there is a picture of JB Bickerstaff that you got to see because he just looks flabbergasted. Just ridiculous. All right. On the other side, the best realistic outcomes for the Kings, the worst realistic outcome for the Kings is this season playoff or bust. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. Hey, Marvel movie fans. The Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Venom, The Last Dance, the IMAX experience. Everything will end. The best theater to experience Venom's action-packed finale is the Esquire IMAX, with its 6-story screen and heart-pounding audio.
There comes a time in every man's life where you have to make a sacrifice.
Be the first to see Venom, The Last Dance. Grab your great seats today at IMAX.com/Sacramento.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Ram Power Days?
Save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesmen. Plus, with over 400 new Ram trucks available, you're sure to find that truck you need at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center.
That is some of the best savings you've had all year, Chad.
Yep, and you won't find better deals on more Ram trucks than at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. There's a reason we continue to be one of the biggest Ram dealers in the country, with numerous customer service awards, including the very prestigious Walter P. Chrysler Award, which means we are in the top 1% of dealers in the nation. Once you buy from Hoblet, you won't buy anywhere else.
Don't miss the savings at Hoblet. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet. Period.
15,000 total net savings after 8,500 factory rebates and 6,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,000 Hoblet Select inventory coupons, 2,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance, must have qualifying trade-in, and 1,500 commercial bonus cash. Must have proof of business ownership. At least 5 of this net savings. Coupons available while supplies last. See dealer for details.
Get ready for an incredible night as the iconic Little River Band hits the stage at the Nugget Casino Resort Grand Ballroom. Join us Saturday, November 16th at the Nugget Grand Ballroom for an unforgettable concert experience. You'll hear all your favorites in this must-see event of classic rock. The Little River Band live at the Nugget Casino Resort Grand Ballroom. For tickets and info, visit nuggetcasinoresort.com.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Rita Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on every new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock after rebates. All of them.
Silverado savings on now at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See delivery details. Ends 10/31/24.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text 916-339-1140.
Stiles Watkins. Sacktown Sports taking you up to 2 p.m. Talking Kings, best realistic outcome for the Kings. Worst realistic outcome for the Kings is this season playoff or bust. And what would bust mean if something happens that we hope doesn't happen for your Sacramento Kings? Chris, best realistic outcome for the Kings. Realistic, and I think that's the operative word here. If you're removing some of the teams that we've talked about in the past, like maybe people are too high on the Grizzlies, maybe people are too high on the Nuggets, maybe people are too high on some of these other teams, the Mavericks, the Suns. I would say best realistic option. I want to say 4, but if I'm really putting it out there, I would say best realistic option for this Kings team is a 3 seed. I think they could. I think some other teams would have to fall off, but I think best realistic option or outcome for this team from the regular season perspective, then we'll do the postseason, but I would say a 3 seed is the best realistic option.
I think 50 plus wins easy. I would say, I would say the best realistic option is probably best, emphasis on best, is probably like 55 wins. I think you can get a 2 seed. I think there's, I guess, a possibility you can get a 1 seed if OKC, who I think is just everybody's favorite to finish number 1, if maybe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets hurt for an extended period of time. I will say they are pretty Shai dependent in terms of their top end. They obviously still have a ton of talent, but I think if Shai goes down for 15, 20 games, I don't know who really steps up as their number 1, and I don't know if that's going to be good enough to keep them at the number 1 spot in a deep West. So I'll say a 2 seed as the best possible scenario for the Kings, but I will leave it open. And Jason Ross has came out and said he thinks that this team, there's a possibility they can finish as high as the 1 seed, but Jason also says they can finish as low as straight up out of the play-in. So I'll put them as a 2 seed. I'll say 55 wins.
As far as the worst realistic outcome for the Kings, yeah, Jay Ross, I'm not going as high as Jay Ross went, and I'm not going as low as Jay Ross went. Chris, I cannot see the Kings missing the play-in or even a 10 seed. I would say worst case scenario, worst realistic outcome for the Kings. I'd probably, and maybe I'm a little high on them, but I just feel like it's a 7. I don't even think it's an 8. I think it's a 7, a home play-in, and I think something probably went wrong for that to happen. Or we had another historic season where everybody was healthy.
Yeah, I don't know where they would be placed, but I mean, I think the worst outcome for them would just be even just being in the pack at all. I think that they just want to clear and avoid that. I think last year really spooked them for life, frankly. I don't think they want to be anywhere near the play-in situation ever again. I can see them as maybe a 10 seed, especially if let's just say they continue to shoot how they shot in the preseason. Let's say that DeMar, maybe Legend of Winning is right, and DeMar. That's actually the worst possible scenario, is that Legend of Winning is right. Period. End of story. End of sentence. End of segment. If Legend of Winning is
Trey
right,
Lyles movement.
The Trey Lyles movement is the only positive part of it. But yeah, if Legend of Winning is right and DeMar DeRozan isn't a good fit, and maybe we do have to say that, hey, DeMar's got to hit the bench or something. But long story short, I think that they can finish possibly as a 9 or 10. And obviously the worst case scenario would be them just losing in one of those play-in games. And then again, not making the playoffs after making what I think they view as a pretty big splash with DeMar. If you end up exactly where you were last season, that somehow I think actually being the same as last year might be worse as being worse. Like maybe if there's worse, you could explain it away. But if you're the exact same as you were last year, you have the same result. And that's probably more just me trying to spin something. But I kind of feel like people would be more frustrated if they're the exact same.
Yeah. And then it becomes whether they're worse.
How do you get better?
Right.
You know?
Whether they're worse than last season or the same as last season. I think both of them would both be in the bust category. And then the question becomes, here's the thing. You just got DeMar. He signed to a multi-year deal. So if this thing doesn't look right and, they're a 9 seed and they lose in the play-in, something like that, then my question is, well, that's only 1 year with DeMar. That's what led to people even mentioning De'Aaron Fox. Sure. Then the question becomes, what do you do? Kevin Huerter has been that movable contract, that $16 million. You're not going to blow it up because you just got DeMar. So now you're going to get DeMar, give that big 3 1 year to figure it out. And if they don't figure it out, move and try to create a different big 3 after 1 year. I feel like they're in a better situation because DeMar DeRozan is a Hall of Fame player, but they're also in a position to where it's stuck is not the word I want to use, but I think it would be pretty hard for them to move any of those 3 pieces after 1 year.
I don't think so. I don't think it would be tough to move on from DeMar at all. I think he's at a 22, something like that, 22 to 25 million.
So just 1 year
contract.
Didn't work and keep it pushing.
I mean, if they finish as a 9 seed and you can directly attribute DeMar's fit as the reason why maybe not even DeMar's play, but just like, hey, like, yeah, he does take too much mid-range and we sacrifice too much from the 3-point line or whatever. You're telling me the Lakers wouldn't do DeMar DeRozan for Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura? Like, I definitely think you could figure out how to move on from him and how to have it make sense. I think a lot of teams would still be willing to have a Hall of Famer. And like we talked about yesterday, I think the Kings would, instead of looking to move on from Fox, like Kevin O'Connor kind of insinuated, I think that they would say, no, we know De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis are a playoff duo. We've seen them be as high as a 3 seed in the West, 46 wins or whatever you want to say. We're going to bet that those two guys who are both under 30, we're going to hold on to them and think that down the line, we're going to find the right third guy. And yeah, we'll move on from the 36-year-old Hall of Famer who definitely still has some value around the league. That's what I would think. That's what I would do, at least.
Yeah, let's go to postseason now.
Yeah.
I would say obviously worst realistic outcome. We don't need to do that for postseason, but best realistic outcome, it's going to be exactly the same as I said last season because they didn't get there last season. I believe what I said last season was get to the second round. I think that's the best outcome. There are teams where you have the Thunder who they just had their first kind of postseason run where things didn't work out the way they wanted. So now they're hungry. The Timberwolves, they thought that they should go farther. So they're teams that have more immediate experience with the postseason. The Kings, they do because they were in the play, and then the year before they played the Warriors. They had that familiarity against the Warriors, which may not have helped them. But yeah, I don't see this team being put together in one off season, even if they are a 3 seed, which would kind of stink because if they didn't get there, it could be the same thing as 2 years ago. But I think that would be the best realistic outcome. They're either a 3 between 3 and 5. They get into the playoffs and they get to the second round, competitive second round. And whether it's Anthony Edwards or whoever it is, they are not able to get it done. But we can say, hey, there's movement. Nobody's going to move. Maybe guys that didn't contribute the same way we would have wanted, they move on from those guys and get better. The Aaron Gordon move, if you will. But it's hard for me to see this Kings team getting past the second round when they were in the play-in last season.
I think that they can make the Western Finals. I think it's all matchup dependent. I think if they finish as a 2 seed, they're going to play one of the play-in teams. Hopefully they can play the worst of the 2 play-in teams and easily take care of that series in the first round. Second round, they would play either the what would that be? It would be either the 3 or the 6 seed. Maybe in the Western Conference, there's an injury. Maybe let's say the Phoenix Suns finish as a 6 seed and end up taking down a 3-seeded Grizzlies team or something like that. And then the Kings end up playing a Phoenix team that they're super familiar with. Again, I've shouted from the rooftop, I think there's going to be some Olympic fatigue this year. Maybe Kevin Durant, Devin Booker don't quite have enough juice in the playoffs to make a deep run. I think the Kings can make the Western Finals. We've seen teams make it too early. We've seen Western Conference Finals runs mean nothing, a la the old Blazers, or I shouldn't say old Blazers, but the CJ McCollum Dame Blazers. You got the Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks with Trae Young and Kevin Huerter after the Ben Simmons fiasco. I think the Kings can make the Western Finals. I don't know if I would say they're a Western Conference Finals contender by any stretch. I think the schedule and the matchups would have to play out really well for them. But I would say in the best case scenario for this team, I think that there's a world where they could make the Western Finals, and it would probably end up being something that we overreact to in the offseason, and maybe it's good. Maybe it forces the Kings to kind of push all their chips into the middle truly, and maybe they can actually turn into a legitimate contender that people don't laugh at. I would say the worst realistic outcome for the Kings is, again, just losing in the play-in. I mean, it's specifically to the Pelicans. If it's to the Pelicans in the play-in at home, that would be the worst possible outcome.
Yeah,
hands down.
And I don't even want to go there. No. Don't want to even put that into the air, put that into existence. But yeah, there are so many other possibilities I would take over that. We're not going there. We're not going there. But where we are going when we return, team totals, the Kings team totals and their odds to win the championship, the NBA Cup, the Pacific Division, all that on the other side. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings open their season tonight against Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tip at 7 p.m. Listen to every Kings game all season long
On your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now that fall is here, now is the perfect time to head to Stockton and check out a new Mercedes-Benz. I had the opportunity just last week to drive an all-new S-Class 550, and let me tell you, it was a sweet ride. The moment I hopped in, I felt like I was in a world of luxury. From the steering wheel to the seat cooling, and even the power of the engine, I was impressed. And then, of course, when I hopped in my Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, I felt the same thing. So hurry in and take advantage of the Mercedes-Benz incentive bonuses up to $15,000. And they have tons of pre-owned vehicles as well, including C-Class sedans, GLC SUVs, and a whole lot more. Take it from me, you won't be disappointed. So take the short drive down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbofstockton.com.
Tesla, keeping it real tour.
Saturday, November 9th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Tesla, live. The multi-platinum rock band returns with special guest, Fuel. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Tesla, keeping it real tour.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at the AEWay.com for an instant quote. That's the AEWay.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
2 hours down, 2 hours to go. 30 minutes until Sam Morril. Tickets, we're giving those away. Returns to the Crest for a night of nonstop laughs. And of course, Sacktown Sports wants you in the building. We went Nate yesterday. We can just come up with a number. Would it be De'Aaron Fox, number 5?
How many fouls Sabonis will have?
Well, how many free throws a team will make?
Oh.
Or miss,
I didn't
actually.
mean to start the negative energy.
Miss.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
0. No callers.
No callers. De'Aaron Fox from shoot around on opening day. This is Brendan Nunez.
Fox.
We want to be a team that's able to contend. Because if we're not, then what are we playing for? What are we really playing for? That's what De'Aaron Fox had to say. Brendan Nunez is firing that back up. We have the team totals we're going to get to. And whether or not we feeling like we should go over, under, Chris is going to lead us through that. But Brandon is on the line, 916-339-1140. Brandon wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Brandon? Happy Thursday. What you got for us?
What's up, boys? You guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just had to get on real quick. I'm excited. I think people are kind of spooked a little bit because of the preseason, but I don't pay any mind to that. Everyone was talking about Zach Edey being the Rookie of the Year, guaranteed, and he went out last night and had 5 points, 5 rebounds. So preseason don't really matter, and I think the writing's on the wall for the Kings. You got Fox with the contract year. You know he's going to ball out. We're not trotting out Harrison Barnes. No more 0-0-0 nights. I wish him the best, and I really think that the Sabonis is primed just to have the best year that he's had in his career. So I got big hopes, man. I think they're going to start it off with the W. It does make me nervous it's the Timberwolves because I know Anthony Edwards loves playing in the Golden One Center. But as long as the Golden One Center does their thing and shows out for the Kings, I think we're going to come back on here tomorrow and be talking about a celebratory win.
There you go. Thanks for the call, Brandon. Great stuff.
Love it. That's
Great
the right
stuff.
energy.
Out of Brandon. And after they win this one, Chris, then we can really start looking at these totals and see whether or not they're going to get there. So what do you got for us? What are the odds, the totals? What are we thinking?
It's time to go to Reno, everybody.
Let's go.
Or go to Tahoe. Or wherever your favorite place.
Peppermill, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Wherever shortest
Nate's
for you.
Smiling now. He loves
Nate's like,
Nate
that's me.
Boomtown, baby.
I love Boomtown.
We're going to Boomtown, baby.
Love me some Boomtown.
I have a problem.
Yeah.
Never mind.
He's learning.
Yep.
Let's do team totals
Better
for
every
the
day.
season. Team totals for the season. Gentlemen, let's just throw out our predictions here, and I'll let you know the odds as well. The Sacramento Kings to make the Western Conference playoffs. Just the playoffs in general. This is not I think if you go through the play-in and you still enter the playoffs, that still counts. I assume. Maybe ask your local degenerate or something like that. They might have a better clue. But to make the Western Conference playoffs, a yes vote is minus 194. That is the favored. The no is a plus 156. So you actually get plus odds on the Kings not making the playoffs. Do we want to do this from a what do you think, or what do you think is the better side to be on in terms of dinero? Because I think, again, like you might wholly believe that the Kings are going to make the playoffs, but you look at making plus money on a no for a franchise that hasn't made the playoffs in math is a little sketchy. Let's just say 18 of last 19 years.
We can make those as notes, but let's keep it simple.
Okay, let's keep it simple. It's simple. See, very simple.
So yes, to me,
yes,
that's
Western playoffs. Nate, are we feeling like we're going to be a playoff team this year?
I'm thinking, yeah.
Okay. Now, how about to make the West play-in? The Kings are plus 145, which I think is interesting because I would think that, especially from a national perspective, I would feel like the Kings are the perfect team to just assume that they're not going to be at the top of the West, but they're going to be good enough to be scrappy and make the play-in. This is just to make the play-in tournament. Obviously, if they were too good, you wouldn't get this payout, and if they don't make it as an 11 seed, you would not make it. But will the Kings essentially finish a 7 through 10 seed? Is that where you see them? You get plus 145 odds on that.
No, I wouldn't take that.
I probably wouldn't either. I don't think it's going to happen either. I feel like the Kings, again, are definitely afraid of the play-in. Nate, did you say something? Or did you
Let's
say
say
your
no.
prediction? No.
I mean, like you said, I plus 145. I think they're pretty good odds.
Pretty decent. If you're getting plus on the Kings, like
yeah, to be a 7 in this West, if I didn't like the Kings, I'd take it.
$2 to $5 on it,
Right,
you know, like come
right.
on, that's a little sprinkle, but yeah, I agree, and I think most of us feel like the Kings will be 6 or higher, but
Right.
you know, again, there's just the chance with how deep the West is, might not even be really in the Kings' hands at that point. Let's just go
This
more
is the
surface
fun
level
one. Yeah.
win total. We've talked about it, I feel like all summer long. It hasn't moved officially. I believe all of these are from FanDuel, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this is FanDuel Sportsbook, their numbers. So Kings win total is set at 46.5 wins. The over gets you minus 102 odds. The under gets you minus 120 odds. So you're not getting plus odds on either of them.
Yeah, I've been on this all day, or not just all
Seems
day.
like more
I've
people
been-
are on the under.
Yeah,
based off those numbers.
Yeah, I've been on this for really all of the offseason. I just think it's an over 46.5. I mean, they got there with games that they tricked off, with injuries, with the Dole Swiss Army knife, Harrison Barnes. It's just, if they don't get to 47 wins,
Come on.
something went horribly wrong.
Do you think you're going to be sweating it out? Like, do you think it's going to be a last week of the season kind of thing?
No.
Or do you feel confident?
I mean,
I agree.
2 weeks maybe,
That's
but
good
not
though.
the last
No, you're
week.
fine. Yeah. 2 weeks, you're fine. I think all things are kind of open with 2 weeks to go, but it's the ones that it's like, no, you're literally counting the wins at the end of the season. It's like, okay, that's going to be 46, and the last game is essentially going to be
Great. Then they go to the East and they got the Celtics. Did the Celtics already wrap it up yet? Oh my gosh. I just got flashbacks to that game.
Yeah, it's over.
The Kobe Jones game.
It was a good comeback, and until it wasn't. You know?
They said,
yeah,
"Here,
nobody was playing.
Take
but-
this win," and the
and they
Kings said, "No, thank you."
No, thanks.
All
No,
right.
no, we're good. We have enough. Pacific Division winner. This one I think is easy. If you believe that the Kings are, this one really ends up to me coming down to if you think the Kings will be better than the Phoenix Suns. The rest of the division is all of the California teams. I feel good about the Kings being better than the Clippers, the Lakers, the Warriors. It's the Suns that I think are the big question. However, I will say again, we're not focusing on the odds here too much, but plus 250 for the Kings to win the Pacific
So
Division.
they're all in. They must be all in on
All
the
in
Suns.
on the Suns,
I guess
I
you
would
could say
imagine, yeah.
Suns or even
Warriors.
the Warriors,
You
or
can
like
maybe
it's
say
just
Lakers.
more
I mean, yeah.
opportunity for somebody to mess around and win. Yeah, I'd hammer that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
plus 250.
Yeah. It's not even necessarily that I 100% believe that the Kings would do it, but I think that again, if you're just looking at that number, I think that there's a more than good chance that the Kings do it. I view that again as more so simple as, are the Kings better than the Suns? If you believe
Right.
so, or even if you think that it's a lot closer than that suggests, I feel like I really like that number. Ultimately, I think it'll probably get decided by like 2 games too. Like it's going to be a really, really close race. Let's go on to some of the lighter ones that I don't think many people really care about too much. For what it's worth, also Western Conference winner to be the representative from the Western Conference in the finals. That's plus 2,400, which actually kind of feels low, I think, for specifically the Kings.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it's plus 2,400. We don't have to spend much time or any time on that. NBA Cup tournament winner.
Let's go.
This is something a little fun. And to me,
Whitey.
how is this about the same? Plus 2,000 for the Kings being the NBA Cup tournament winner.
Yeah.
So you essentially get, for all intents and purposes, you get just as good odds to say the Kings are going to win the NBA Cup as the Kings are going to make the NBA Finals. I really like that one.
Yeah.
I talked about it last year. I still kind of think that the NBA Cup is something that the Kings won't necessarily go for, but it's something that, being a younger team that doesn't really have anything that's, you know, a feather in their cap per se, like they don't really have anything to make them feel like, yeah, like we can make a playoff run with this group, you know, anything is possible. I could see it. I could see it early in the season that the Kings really try and go for this. Plus 2,000. I just really like that number.
I do too.
Group A, for the Kings to win Group A, I cannot say I remember exactly who is in the Kings NBA Cup group, but to win NBA Cup Group A, the Kings are plus 260 odds. I think if you like the NBA Cup winner, you probably are the tournament winner. You're probably going to like the group as well. To look at the NBA Cup groups real quick for what it's worth, the Sacramento Kings obviously are in Group A in the West there with the Timberwolves, the Clippers, the Kings, obviously, the Rockets, and the Blazers. I think the Wolves are really especially looking at it now. I mean, the Clippers felt like that was a tough draw for the Kings, but it's really Kings and Wolves. And if I'm not mistaken, that was how the group ended up shaking up last year as well. Kings and Wolves, the two teams that were really fighting for that.
Right.
Again, it kind of goes back to the Pacific Division. It's really one or the other. And if you feel good about the Kings, I think that's a pretty good one to look at.
Yeah, I like the group A just because it's just like the Pacific Division. You talk about one team.
Yep.
One
That's
team.
pretty much it.
And you're also banking on, we'll see it tonight, how quick do the Timberwolves get this thing figured out with the two new guys that they've added in Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. So I think I would take that one as well. You just got to be one team. One team.
Last but definitely not least.
Come on.
What you say, those two, it's just about beating one team. Well, how about beating every single team in the NBA? The Kings' odds to win the NBA championship, according to FanDuel Sportsbook, plus 5,500. So help me out here. You put $10 down and you get 55,000. Is that correct? Is that how that works? Is it as simple as that?
No, it's 100.
Okay,
so you put 100 down, you get
100 down. That's what it is.
5,500.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I believe
okay.
so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because it's all based on 100.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes, I do not
Nate
deal
taught
with
me
those.
this. Nate taught me all this.
I don't deal in that. Again, I'm more of the 2 to 5 to
right.
maybe
So $10,
that I'm putting down.
$10 would be $550.
Sounds like a great investment. Sounds like a fantastic investment.
You put down 1,000.
Put it all on black.
Can't stress enough. We do not recommend doing that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like these odds. I think these odds. I think you should make more money. I think this should be more like 8,000 plus 8,000.
If the Sacramento, if you put money down that the Kings are going to win a championship in any year, feels like you should be set for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
If you end up calling the season that it ends up breaking the Kings curse, come on. What are you talking? You deserve the world.
It should be about $5 for 5,500.
Yes, come on.
I mean, $100 to win 5,500 for the Kings to win the whole thing. And I'm just looking at the Celtics.
Come on.
Or to get out the West, I really don't like. So should you feel better as if Vegas thinks that the Kings have a shot?
I guess. Maybe.
Because I don't like that at all.
I don't like it either. Is that how Vegas works? The more likely something's going to happen, the worse the odds are? What?
I don't like that. There's some of those that I like. I do not like $100 for 5,500 right there. All right. Great stuff. Kings record predictions. Chris put it on his social media and Kings fans responded. Let's see what they had to say. Chris and I and Nate, we give our thoughts and let's hear from you. What are your Kings record predictions through the first 11 games? Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings open their season tonight against Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tip at 7 p.m.
Fans on their feet.
Listen to every Kings game all season long.
On your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
From the 916, Your tone is betraying your words. You guys sound like you're trying to talk yourself into this team being good rather than you really believe it.
You should start listening to the show sometime.
I'm totally conflicted on it myself, so maybe I'm projecting my doubts.
Sounds like it.
Too much PTSD here. Now, the number looks familiar. They're a listener to the show. Well, all we can say, 916, is I think our tone matches our words, and I think that we are optimistic. I mean, this is the last day. I put you like this.
Huh.
You could go the rest. You could, after tomorrow, if the Kings lose, if the Kings barely win, anything can happen, which would give everyone a lot of reason to be pessimistic until the next game or for the rest of the season. This is the last day. We have about less than, 7 hours, 6 and so hours.
6:45.
Okay? To be as optimistic as possible. We have hope. It's like we're in an airport. We have so much hope for a vacation that's upcoming that you've been looking forward to.
It's going to be the best ever.
The best vacation you ever had.
We have hope like we're driving up 80 to Boomtown.
We have so much hope.
That might be peak hope.
When I turn and I see that ridiculously big building as in Thunder Valley, and I know Nate's there waiting for me, and I say to myself, I'm going to get a picture taken with a big old check. That's who you are. That's where we are.
How do you cash that?
We're turning left into Thunder Valley with all the hope in the world. All right. Tomorrow that hope could be gone. So today's not the day to be realistic, to be pessimistic, be as optimistic as possible, because today's the last day before they actually tip off. Now, Chris Watkins, let's see the 11-game record predictions from your Sacramento Kings fans.
Let's try it.
How optimistic are they?
I will say, shout out first off, Sacramento Kings fans who absolutely blew this out of the water. I just posted it because I had the schedule in front of me, and I thought I'd get a little bit of interaction. We had 76 immediate replies and then quote tweets. I don't even think I can look at how many there were. So shout out everybody who got involved. Tons of participation. I will say, and the reason why, there's two reasons why I put the first 11 games. One of which is because it was the San Antonio Spurs, and that feels like a good win. It's also the second night of a back-to-back, so it didn't feel completely out of place. But also, it's so easy to just say 5-5. Oh, yeah, I think they're going to be 5-5.
Right.
Or they're going to be 6-5. But if things don't go well, they're going to be 4-6. And I was just trying to avoid that. I don't want fence sitting on this. I want you to sit on one side of 500. They're either going to be 6-5 or you think they're going to be 5-6. No sitting on the fence. A lot of people, I was surprised. Let me go through the games first. Let's set the table. Kings' first 11 games of the season. Thursday, obviously today, the 24th, we have at home versus Minnesota. On Saturday, we play at the Lakers. And then on Monday, back home to play the Blazers. Then the Kings go on a 4-game road trip. Tuesday at Utah, Friday at Atlanta, Saturday at Toronto, so that's a back-to-back, their first of the season. Then Monday at Miami. Then they come back home in 2 weeks, so it's going to be a while before we see the Kings. Again, after that Portland game, a Wednesday game versus Toronto. So getting those two Raptor games out the way very early. Then they play Friday against, I believe that's the Clippers. It just says versus LA. Sorry about that. Sunday, November 10th. They play at Phoenix, and then Monday on a back-to-back November 11th, they play at the San Antonio Spurs. First and foremost, before I get to other people's thoughts, I will just give my, and Alan, of course, you as well, our initial thoughts on the Kings schedule. First, just general initial thought. Pretty easy as far as first 11 games go. I'm looking at the Blazers. I'm looking at the Hawks. I'm looking at the 2 games against the Raptors, the San Antonio game, and I think you have to throw in the Utah game as very, very, very winnable games. And frankly, a lot of those games, maybe with the exception of Utah, and even then, I feel like this early in the season, Utah would count. Those are the wins of last year, or the wins that escaped you last year. Obviously, literally against Portland, the Kings ended up dropping games to Portland. But Utah, you have to beat. The Raptors are going to be one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference. The fact that you get to play so many East teams, but to play some of the worst East teams that early in the season, you have to take advantage of. So I'm putting those all as wins. Portland, Utah, Atlanta, Toronto twice, and then San Antonio. I already have them as 6 wins there. They got Minnesota, the tough games, I would say, obviously, opening night tonight versus Minnesota. You have the Clipper game, which honestly should be an easy one. The Lakers game, which is on Saturday. And you have a game at Miami November 4th and at Phoenix on November 10th. Those, to me, are the ones that are a little bit in the balance. I just think that the Kings can easily, I already have them at 6 wins. I think they just have to finish above 500, and I think that there's a chance that they put themselves in a really good spot. I'll say 8-3 through the first 11 games of the season. I would say the most popular standings for those games, 7-4 is the one that I saw the most for a lot of Kings fans out there. So I think regardless, many Kings fans seem to be, at least for the first 11 games, very optimistic about the Kings' chances.
Well, I'm going to go through these, Chris, here, and I got a win tonight.
Yeah.
That's number 1.
Okay.
So I got a win tonight, 1-0.
Yeah.
Then I got a win in LA.
Okay.
That's 2-0.
I love it.
Now, you said that was the Clippers, right?
That's the Lakers.
That's the Lakers.
Game 2 is the Lakers, yes.
Okay, I got them 1-1. I think they're due. I think they're due.
Okay.
I think the Lakers are due for a W.
We did sweep them last year.
Yes, so I think the Lakers are due. So I got 1-1 right there. Portland, 2-1. Jazz, 3-1.
Love it.
Atlanta, 4-1.
Love it. Keep it rolling.
Miami, Toronto, 5-1.
Come on.
You finally got to win in Miami.
Wait. Before we get a question here, how excited are we going to be at 5-1? Come on.
Oh, we're going to be
regardless of competition. We're through the roof at 5-1.
And then they're going to go to Miami.
That's right. The last game of a road trip, Alan. Come on.
They're probably going to lose that game.
Come on.
Okay, they're going to
Miami
lose.
flu, possibly.
They're going to lose that game, so they're 5-2.
What day of the week is that? Oh, it's a Monday too.
Monday. Yeah. So they're 5-2. They
don't win in Miami either.
Dude, they have a Friday at Atlanta, Saturday at Toronto, and then Monday at Miami. Let's hope that DeMar DeRozan's leadership shows up early, because those are 3 of the biggest party cities in the, well, obviously Toronto out of the country, but in the NBA landscape, biggest party cities.
5-2, and then Toronto, that's a W. That's 6-2. All right. Then they beat the Clippers in the Intuit Dome, 7-2. They lose to the Suns, so they're 7-3.
Yep.
And then they beat the Spurs. And Harrison Barnes, they're 8-3.
That's right.
8-3.
That seems like a really
on their way to 47 wins.
And that's really where the season starts to pick up too. There's a reason why I kind of stopped after 11 games. It starts to get a little bit tougher there, but I really just wanted to highlight that the Kings have a very, very open opportunity to start the season right. And I think we might know immediately if this team isn't going to meet the expectations that we hope that they're going to have this season. Like if they go 6-5 or God forbid 5-6, like, that's really going to be telling. I am totally fine overreacting to, just because of the quality opponent and the fact that you've barely played any Western Conference teams. You played some of the easiest teams in the league, and you pretty much squander that. After this list, for what it's worth, just to kind of round it out. So after that San Antonio game, you then play the Suns again. You then play the Timberwolves, Jazz, Hawks, Clippers, Nets. Then you play Thunder, Wolves, Blazers, Spurs, Rockets, Grizzlies. I will say, there's not really like an absolute killer stretch here that I'm seeing for a while for the Kings. And so, maybe I'm just feeling more positively about where the Kings roster is at. But to me, there's been some years where I'm like, man, it feels like the Kings don't have any nights off. Looking at this schedule, just off of what I've read off so far, that's a fairly light schedule, and I feel like the Kings should take advantage. Of course, you're going to lose to some teams you shouldn't. Of course, you're probably going to get blown out by some teams that are really, really good that might have us coming back to reality. But I just think that this Kings team, record-wise, should definitely have a good showing, at least we'll say the first 20 games of the season.
Quick trip around the NFL. It's been all NBA today, and it will continue to be, but we're going to take a quick trip around the NFL and then get back into what's on tonight in the NBA. Stiles Watkins, Sacramento Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back, He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-330-2929. 800-330-2929. 800-330-2929.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Kings basketball is back in action. The Kings have tipped off their 40th season in Sacramento, and it's sure to be an exciting one. Get your tickets now to see De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, new addition DeMar DeRozan, and all of your Sacramento Kings take the court at Golden One Center. Upcoming matchups include the Trailblazers on October 28th, the Raptors on November 6th, and the Clippers on November 8th. Don't miss out. Head to kings.com/tickets to secure your seat for the action now.
Fall's right around the corner, and there's no better way to experience nature and everything that Northern California has to offer than in a Jeep. And right now, it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And they've got the deals and selection for you. From sales to service, they're going to prove to you why they deserve your business. Their GM, Chuck Dean, he has this talent of not only getting you the best deal in town, but he also is able to build an inventory that other dealers are jealous of. SacsSuperstore.com and located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Don't miss Stoney's Rockin' Rodeo's Halloween bashes this weekend. That's right, Stoney has Halloween costume contests each night, including Sexiest, Scariest, and Best, and a superhero/villain contest this Sunday night. Winners get a dash for cash on the dance floor, free late night food, country dancing, and Halloween fun all weekend long. I'll see you on the dance floor.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomslaw.com.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat. Bring out all the flavors of the upcoming holidays with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills that features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, complete with a lifetime warranty. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just because it's October does not mean we can't barbecue outside. Visit California Backyard now for your best selection of grills and Napoleon Grills accessories.
Your water heater, old, rusty, forgotten. We hardly ever even think about them until there's no hot water. Right now, get incredible rebates up to $3,000 off and financing available for as little as $40 a month. Leave it to Bonnie to crank up the heat.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
real quick, I can't remember the name of this artist.
This one?
Yeah.
Tommy Richmond.
So basically, this whole thing was going over TikTok because that's how he kind of popped. Like this song popped on TikTok, and he was just getting ripped because I guess this song blew up for him.
Okay.
The next song he put out blew up for him.
Okay.
Then after that, he puts out his album, and I guess he didn't. People were saying you didn't let your $1 Million Baby, didn't let that breathe. You put out another song that also was a hit, didn't really let that breathe either.
Okay.
He then goes on to put out an album, and listen to this stupidity. He did not put $1 Million Baby on the album.
So it's just a single?
It's just a single.
He's got like no other music too.
So then the album completely flopped.
Yeah.
And people were just saying that is, I don't know who
Hustling
was
Backwards.
in charge of that. Is Hustling Backwards 101.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I don't know. I don't know.
The only songs people know you for, maybe you should put it on the album.
Yeah, so I don't know.
At least
Nate,
so they
you
have
said you knew his name. Did you? Yeah, $1 Million Baby.
This song
nearly
just
900 million listens
when it
on
came
Spotify.
out, it just caught me off guard. I really, really liked it, and then instantly blew up. And then, of course, something gets so popular you can't like it anymore.
Yeah,
you
so
have to
he
let it
had
chill out.
that song at 800, and a lot of people just do it just to make their records look like they sold more.
Right, yeah.
Right? So
100%.
$1 Million Baby, nearly 900 million listens on Spotify. The song with the most listens, he has 5 million for one song on his album, and the rest are pretty anemic.
We'll get his other hit in the next rejoiner.
Sure, because those are the only one he's got. All right, speaking of hits,
Maybe he'll do a podcast.
let's lay some hits, but please no.
I thought
Let's
we're doing
lay
no
some
more
hits.
stupid podcasts. It says that on the rundown.
Well, I mean, we're not playing clips from any stupid podcast today because we're talking Kings, but we are about to go around the NFL, and we're about to give away these tickets. Sam Morrell returns to the Crest for a night of nonstop laughs, and of course, Sacktown Sports wants you in the building. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Kind of hotline right now. Looking for caller number 5. Caller number 5 for
De'Aaron.
De'Aaron, it's your year, buddy. It should be 345,
Stand
but
up.
345 million. You about to cash out with that All NBA. Score
I don't
that
know
pair
if
of
he's
tickets.
worth it though, Alan.
That's right. Well,
He should be paid $15 million a year.
Check out Sam Morrell at Crest Theater in beautiful downtown Sacramento next May, courtesy of Live Nation. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. Caller number 5, caller number 5. 209, I see you on the text lines saying, okay, Mr. Positive, trying to bring down our positivity.
hold him accountable.
We are going to get to your text right after Around the NFL. So we're going to get to your text at 12:45. So don't go anywhere. 209. Don't think I didn't see you. All right, Chris, let's go around the NFL. And Desmond Ridder, Nate's handling the phone. I wanted to get this audio, but Desmond Ridder, we'll get to him and his sound from joining the Raiders. He's very happy to join the Raiders. We'll come back to that.
Where's he
Robert Saleh.
sad? Where is he sad?
Stop that.
Sorry.
just stop that. All right. Robert Saleh hired as a Packers consultant. They're calling it a position that is fluid.
Okay.
And
Interesting. I wouldn't want my job being classified as fluid. That's for sure.
Well, it's not. Is it a job?
That's true. It's a
They
consultant.
hire him
It's a consultant.
to, and he said he didn't want to work. So maybe this is just like, hey, I show up when I want.
We'll send you
Is this
film,
a pay to show up?
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he's getting, not that he needs the money. I mean, they could give him $5 if he wanted to, just to stay in the realm of the NFL, to consult offense from a defensive perspective. So basically saying, hey, this is how I would stop you.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me, Chris.
Yeah.
When's the last time something like this happened, though? It feels a little
I
bit
feel like
unique.
it happens all the time.
Okay.
No, I think it definitely happens all the time. If you're not in the NFL, like I'm sure Bill Belichick is consulting somebody on some sort of basis. Like I think this happens all the time, especially for fired coaches. You can't get out of the game. I mean, I was watching the Manning cast just like you were the other day, and the thing that I really noticed is that Bill Belichick is very clearly still watching film on teams and game planning, and like he's attacking being a broadcaster
looking
the
at the phone.
same way he would attack being a coach. And I think that these guys just literally get into a rhythm of life and they don't know how to get out of it. So I think this is kind of a natural spot for a lot of fired guys.
There you go. This one, Chris, a bit random. Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey has been selected to be on a 12-person jury for a felony case in Tarrant County's 297 District Court. A source tells that it's from Nick Harris. There's not a clear timetable for how long the case will last. I'm just confused. Does this not normally happen with athletes, or don't they normally just turn it down?
That's what I was thinking.
Right?
I was like, I'm surprised we don't hear about this more. I would guess that it's just a matter of like these guys have a pretty convenient excuse, I guess. Like
Actually, sorry to cut you off, but I'm reading what's going on here. This is from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. The case is centered around a second-degree strangulation charge against the defendant. While the Cowboys tried to pull him away from the jury duty, Aubrey insisted on fulfilling his duty on Wednesday. It is expected that he will return to court on Thursday and Friday, and also that the judge will work with Aubrey with his football schedule. So
kickers
he just didn't want to go to practice.
Kickers are just like us.
You know, a lot of people do watch those murder mysteries and things like that. He probably thought, I'd rather do this than go to practice.
Yeah, I mean, something tells me that they have to have some sort of good like some places won't pay you if you're on jury duty.
It's very easy to get out of jury.
I'm sure this man has I'm sure he's just like, it's not the most, it's not like they're super busy. He's a kicker. He's not a quarterback. He doesn't have to read through a ton of playbooks or anything. He's just got to make sure his leg's ready, and it seems like they're going to work with him to be able to play. So, I mean, I guess it's just a cool story, but it is definitely, I had the same thought that you did, that it's surprising you don't really hear about athletes in general having to serve jury duty often, and it just seems like obviously something we're all supposed to do, but you just never hear about athletes having to do it.
Next, Chris Godwin has more receptions than every receiver on the Chargers. He had, and he's done for the season, obviously, but he has 50, and the Chargers have Chris Godwin has more receptions than the Chargers have given up to wide receivers this entire season. The Chargers have given up 49 receptions, and Chris Godwin has 50. I mean, just a crazy season for Chris Godwin, Chris. Unfortunate that he is not going to be able to play for the foreseeable future with that ankle. Next, Chris, just in, Alvin Kamara says he has a broken right hand. My guy Spencer Rattler can't get a break. Who is he? Who are they trotting out? Who are the Saints trotting out moving forward? Put Hainer in.
I don't know.
Put Hainer in.
Is Taysom Hill available?
No, he hasn't been.
No, he's actually not.
No, he hasn't been.
Busted
I mean,
his
this is
rib
crazy. The NFC South just kind of crumbling, Chris, is going south. And we had a feeling it would, but not like this. Not like us and not like this. This is going to be a terrible game. Saints at Chargers on Sunday. I would take the under. I would definitely take the under. Then after that, it's Saints at Panthers. I would also take the under.
Why?
Okay, so that
might be Bryce Young too. Who knows?
Yeah, that's rough stuff right there. Let's get to this Desmond Ridder sound. And Desmond Ridder, a bit emotional when he's asked about the opportunity to join the Raiders.
Like how do you kind of keep fueling yourself to look for opportunities to be able to start in football team?
Because I was just cut 3 months ago. That should be enough, opportunity, enough motivation to keep me going anytime. I back home, I got the call and everything, and my daughter's like, "Daddy, where you going?" I'm like, "Gotta go to Vegas." But I know I do everything for them. I do everything for my family. So this is just another opportunity to go out and prove to them, prove to myself, prove to everyone that I can be out here and go do this.
And Desmond, to that point,
Very appreciative, and I can do nothing but respect what Desmond Ridder is saying, guys.
But you want him to lose.
They don't ruin my punchline again. All right. But yes, I want him to lose. All right. On the other side, we have what is up and what is on tonight. Celtics taking on the Wizards. Oh my goodness, Chris, that might be a barn burner. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
For 76 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and, well, many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 76th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
All right, Chris, let me read this text. Okay. I know some of you are just weary, right? And just anxious. I get it. We're going to try to help. Here it is. From the 209, Chris. Okay, Mr. Positive. I think that was to both of us. Wow. If you're a fan of a team, you notice no matter what or who the roster is filled with, the team always has certain things they seem to have from year to year. The Kings will lose to bad teams and compete with good ones, period. And they said period.
So that means that they're just forever going to be the same and they can never change even for a single season. They can't have anomalies or
like a cartoon.
So it's just, it's the same
Same
thing
outfit.
every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
They wear the same thing every single time.
I guess so. So why are we even watching?
That was what I was going to say.
They're going to win 46 games this year. They're going to be a 7 seed and they're going to get eliminated by the Pelicans in the play.
That sounds, that is it. Are you talking
Hope
about?
You're tuning in now because that's the official prediction.
And here's what's crazy though. Are we still to the point where, and you can answer this one, Chris, because you've been rocking with the Kings since you were a wee little boy.
Way too long.
But even the situation that the Kings have been in, as annoying as it is, from the playoffs a couple seasons ago with being team to last season to now, are you already to the point where you have forgotten how terrible the Kings were? And I'm not trying to do the, hey, even though they don't stink anymore, so just be happy they don't stink. I'm not necessarily trying to do that. But when someone says something like what 209 says, when we have conversations about moving on from Kyle Shanahan, you worry about, hey, what about when you got Jim Tomsula and things like that, right? We've seen what it can look like for the Niners with the wrong coach. Mike Brown is in his 3rd year, and let's say the same thing happens. I would still say that from where the Kings were, from essentially being a laughingstock, from a good point. And now at some point, yes, we'll say, hey, enough is enough. That's not an excuse anymore. I still feel like we should still be in the category to where you can say that if you want 209, but if you're thinking about blowing the thing up and starting from scratch, please let me know what your plans are, because that either means that you don't trust Mike Brown, you don't trust the players, you don't trust Monty McNair, and you can't get rid of everybody. I guess you could, but I don't think that's a very smart move either. So, yes, we want them to get to the playoffs. Yes, we want them to give us a parade. Yes, we want all these things, but I don't think we're to the point yet where it should be, oh, we're just stuck in the mud. I mean, it's only been 2-3 years now with this iteration of the team.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I think in that first Beam Team season was unlike anything we had seen before with this team. And then last year they took a massive step back, in my opinion, in terms, I would say a massive step back in terms of keeping the feelings in the right direction. I think they really brought people back to the place of, oh man, see, we had good things for a year, but the Kings are always going to be the Kings, and they're always, even when they're supposed to be good, they're going to find their own King spin to not be as good as they should be. And I just think that that's not the case. I think that, I definitely have not forgotten how bad the Kings used to be. And I am still very aware that there's this stat that probably doesn't get said enough, but there's 2 winning coaches in Sacramento era, and that's Rick Adelman and Mike Brown. Those are the only 2 coaches that have an over 500 record as a Sacramento Kings coach. And just like you said, it's not going to be perfect, but I think we're a far ways away from feeling like this thing needs a wholesale change just because they might not bring the right attention to detail on a given night against a team that they should blow out. That doesn't mean that you should change things overnight. And I mean, that stuff, breaking news, it's going to happen again this year. It's just about minimizing it as much as possible and not having it feel like it's part of your identity. I think that's the thing, I guess, to maybe merge the 2 points. We're not saying you're wrong, Texter. It's just that doesn't mean that just is always going to be the case forever. I think every team goes through that. It's just about minimizing those nights as much as possible and making sure that it's not a characteristic of yours that continues to show up. It needs to continue, or not continue. It needs to start feeling random and not feel like something that we can predict.
Yeah, I got nothing else, but just saw it and thought, you know what? Let's do it then. All right, Chris, what is on tonight?
There's some good stuff on. I can't lie. TNT has got the Thursday games. As we know, we got the last season of Inside the NBA potentially going on right now with the NBA rights deal. We don't know how that's all going to shake out. We know TNT, I think, is still making a bid to try and have some games on their network, but Inside the NBA, of course, is going to be back on tonight. It was on Tuesday as well. You got Spurs at Mavericks at 4:30 on TNT. Big note from that one, of course, is our guy HB getting his first official in-game action as a San Antonio Spur. Of course, Wemby and CP3 getting together. That should be a really exciting pairing. I think it's going to be nice for Victor Wembanyama to actually play with not Jeremy Sohan as his point guard.
Right.
I feel like it's just going to be huge for Wemby to actually get an entry pass. I don't think anybody who's coming into the NBA these days even knows what an entry pass is. So I think that's going to be a warm welcome for the Spurs, but they're probably going to get killed by the Mavericks, as that's also Klay Thompson's Dallas debut. Yeah. That should be a good one, an exciting one. Tons of eyeballs on it. Before that, actually, we do have Celtics at Wizards. That will not be on any sort of national TV. Of course, Celtics played in that first game, 29 threes in game one. You get Alex Sarr's debut, the presumptive number one pick in the draft, ended up going number 2 to Washington. I think there's a lot of questions about that young man. It's going to be interesting to see him. Don't think you're going to get the best viewpoint of how his actual career is going to go out based off tonight. I think the Celtics might put up, I don't know what they put up 29. They could probably hit like 35 threes tonight if they really stay focused on it. The Wizards, I think, are going to be terribly disjointed this season.
I was thinking about this watching Blazers and Warriors last night. What do you do on these bad teams where you don't want? I mean, you have Anthony Simons, who he's worth a lot of money to that team. But you still got, Scoot Henderson isn't even starting now. So you're going to be blown out so often. You want your starters to get better, but then you're not in competitive games. So why not play some of the guys at the bottom of your bench? Same thing goes for the Wizards. I'm just not really sure how those teams operate in terms of who's getting minutes. I mean, you're just going to Anthony Simons signed a huge extension. What was it, last season? You're just going to run him out there when you guys are and Denny Avdia. I just don't know. I really have no clue what these bad teams are supposed to do when they're getting blown out. Are you improving from playing the other team's bench player? I just have no clue what any of them should be doing when the Celtics are up 40 tonight. And maybe the Wizards get hot. Kyle Kuzma gets hot. He didn't want to leave Washington. When the Celtics are up 30 points, do the Wizards just leave in a Kyle Kuzma who could be a trade asset at some point? I just don't know what's the philosophy on a bad team.
Well, I can tell you because we've seen a lot of them. I mean, you just kind of put your guys out there, and then with about 7 minutes to go, you kind of wave the white flag, and that's when the bench guys come in. But you got to try and give it an effort every single night, and you got to believe that, maybe the other team kind of takes their foot off the gas and you have an opportunity to pounce. But most likely that's not going to happen in the first couple weeks of the season. All these teams are focused, and, these bad teams that's why you don't be a bad team, is because it's really tough to find development and winning at the same time. I do not envy being a bad team these days. It feels like, it's really, really tough. Obviously, we've seen here in Sacramento, it's tough to get out of those days. And sometimes it does feel like it's just absolutely hopeless. And especially, like you said, with the Blazers, when you're losing by 35 points in game one, I mean, that's just setting the tone for what's going to be probably a miserable season. At 7:00 on TNT, we got Thunder at Nuggets. I think a lot of NBA fans are going to be tuned into that one. Two of maybe the best teams in the Western Conference. I don't really have a lot of excitement for that kind of matchup. I think it is a little bit of a hoop head kind of matchup, just because it is you're getting Jokic, who's not necessarily the flashiest or most outgoing player, and you got Shea, who I think most people know him from the What a Pro Wants commercial these days. So I don't really know exactly excitement level how people are going to feel like, oh man, first TNT Thursday, Thunder Nuggets, definitely two really good teams, but it doesn't feel like it's going to get the star power that people want. And of course, no one here in Sacramento is going to be watching that, because at the same time, 7:00 tip off, we have Kings Wolves right downtown at Golden One Center. That's going to be at 7:00. That'll be on NBC Sports California, of course. And then, as we've mentioned a couple times today, can't forget about it's a football Thursday, Minnesota Vikings versus the Los Angeles Rams. That's going to be at 5:15 on Amazon Prime.
There you go. We'll get Chris's thoughts on who's going to win that one on the other side. But we also have top stories at the top of the hour coming up next. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The quest for ring number 6 happens here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Ball, George got out and caught the ball. Touchdown! San Francisco.
Listen on Sacktown Sports for all the 49ers action.
Jennings went up and took it away. What a catch by JJ. He scored 3 touchdowns today.
Quest for 6 lives here on your local sports leader. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BODY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BODY to 42424. That's BODY to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Advanced Infusion Center, where we prioritize your comfort and well-being. Whether you're managing a chronic condition or seeking specialized IV therapy, our state-of-the-art center offers tailored solutions to meet your needs. Advanced Infusion Center's dedicated healthcare professionals are here to ensure your safety and provide personalized care. Conveniently located in Sacramento and Yuba City with flexible scheduling options. Experience a new standard in infusion therapy. Visit Advanced Infusion Center today at advancedinfusion.com.
Hey, Marvel movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Venom, The Last Dance, the IMAX experience. Everything will end. The best theater to experience Venom's action-packed finale is the Esquire IMAX, with its 6-story screen and heart-pounding audio.
There comes a time in every man's life where you have to make a sacrifice.
Be the first to see Venom, The Last Dance. Grab your great seats today at IMAX.com/Sacramento.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. How are you celebrating Jeep Adventure Days?
By helping you save up to $16,000 off MSRP on all remaining new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xEs. Plus, a lifetime of savings at the pump with 56 MPGE.
Oh, wow, that's huge savings, especially as gas prices seem to be going up and up again.
But that's not it. We have over 200 quality used cars available and 46 under $20,000 at the new Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter in historic downtown Woodland.
If you need a vehicle new or used, your first stop needs to be at Hoblet. You won't find bigger savings on a better selection of vehicles anywhere. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$16,000 total net savings on select new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xEs after $4,750 dealer discount and $11,250 factory and federal rebates. Rebates include $7,500 national retail consumer cash and $3,750 federal EV tax credit, subject to third-party terms and availability. Consult a tax professional for details. At least 5% savings. See dealer for details.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free spicy chicken sandwiches from Wendy's, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
It's time to load up your calendar with all the hottest events. This is your Sacktown Sports live events calendar. First up, all this month, take the family to Dave's Pumpkin Patch for hay rides, corn mazes, and fall fun for everyone. It's the perfect way to celebrate the season. Next, David Spade brings his sharp wit to Hard Rock Live Sacramento on November 22nd. And the comedy continues with the hilarious Russell Peters taking the stage at Hard Rock Live on November 23rd. And if you're looking for some legendary music, Legends of Motown will have you grooving to all your favorite classics at Thunder Valley on the same night, November 23rd. Then get festive with the Jersey Boys Midtown Men Holiday Show on December 8th at Thunder Valley. And kicking off the new year, Dylan Scott with Jackson Dean and Avery Anna are bringing their country hits to Thunder Valley on January 10th. So get out there and enjoy the best live events Sacramento has to offer. For tickets and event details, visit SactownSports.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
But I'm thinking Sacramento.
Trey Lyles movement.
It is time. It's 1 o'clock on the dot.
I'm sorry, Alan. I have
drop top.
Drop top. Yes, I have to interrupt because you sent us something yesterday, and it's not on top stories, and I feel like it really is. As we get into top stories here, sorry to do your transition. We got a text yesterday about E. coli breakout for McDonald's and quarter pounders, and Mr. Zion Williamson did not play last night due to illness, and it's just weird. Because,
what, a coincidence?
It's a little fishy, a little filet-o-fishy, if you're asking me.
You got chefs in New Orleans
So you
who love
think
them. They're
that-
looking for them.
You think that Zion had a quarter pounder?
I think.
Come on.
I think he had a full pounder. I think he had 4 of them.
Come on, man.
He'll eat the table.
Royale with cheese.
We're not going to start rumors here. All right.
I'm not starting it. I am gossiping a bit. I am spreading it.
Full pounder is crazy.
But the man had a full pounder at least.
We don't know that.
1.5 pounder maybe.
This is Nate
Nate
speaking.
Steaks.
Yeah,
Nate Steaks. Dude, I didn't even send the text.
I did, actually.
I didn't either. I think you thought I did. I didn't send it.
I saw it, but I thought it was one of those fake sports things beforehand.
Well, I mean, the Zion illness was real, but
I know. No, the E. coli thing is real too, as far as I know.
Oh boy.
I think it was like almost 50
That's why you got to
burgers.
get the chicken Big Mac.
yeah, exactly. The guy's fat chicken big.
I just hope Zion learned his lesson and he gets the chicken one.
Sure.
Yeah. There you go.
There
All
we go.
right.
Anyways.
Well, no
Nate
easy
Steaks.
way to transition from that one. Jets season ticket holders are not thrilled. This is from Drew Nance. Jets season ticket invoice came out today. 6% increase on top of 30% last year. First payment is due November 15th. The team is 2-5.
But they'll be better next year,
But
right?
they'll be
That's
doing-
going to
They'll be better next year. That's a rough one, man. And look, we're not trying to get into everything as far as the ticket prices. It's tough out here in these streets. But I've always said that things should kind of match up better with how a team is actually producing on the field. I've said that about the Giants for years. Difference is you can always find a cheap Giants ticket, but it's more about the food in the stadium, in the ballpark. when you get
$20
in
crab
there.
sandwich.
Yeah, and you better eat it all. So, yeah, it's rough stuff, but that's New York, and that's the Jets, and you get Devontae Adams, and
Yeah,
now there's
I guess
hope.
so. I guess
You're
you're paying for
selling
the
hope.
show, right? Yeah,
That's right.
It doesn't matter. You're not getting any sort of guarantee of performance, but you're going to guarantee that you will see a Broadway show. And
Yeah.
I guess that's what they're selling them on because, I mean, I will say also candidly, I mean, the Kings have also been victims of, I should say, Kings fans or season ticket holders have also been victims of this as well. I think it's unfortunately just the dirty side of sports is that, like you said, it should be a case of there's some sort of pay for play scale where if your team isn't performing to a certain level, you can't just do what the A's did essentially this year and price gouge fans out of being there at attendance. But, they get to set the ticket prices, unfortunately. And, I think that it's just kind of an unavoidable reality of sports, especially as people have talked about. Like, not to get too into it, but like with appointment TV not being a thing, with monoculture not really being a thing anymore, like sports is kind of one of the very rare instances where people are forced to be watching the same thing at the same exact time and have pretty much the same exact experience. And I do think in general, not just in sports, but anything that falls under that category of giving people that level of intimacy or importance, I think definitely is going to be, it's going to be more and more valuable as time goes on.
Well, look, I mean, at the end of the,
that's my TED Talk.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys are both rocking and rolling right now. I will say this:
E. coli.
It's never going.
He'll E. coli the
He'll
table.
Eat the coli.
Eat the coli is crazy.
We gotta get back on track here, man. I don't know why. I said that.
It's Kings opening night. We're having
That's
fun.
exactly why.
That's
All
exactly
right.
why.
We
Front
just
Office
can't go to
Sports,
McDonald's.
Our friends at Front Office Sports is talking about Unrivaled, the new 3-on-3 women's league from Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart has unveiled its 6-team names, Chris.
Okay.
Laces Basketball Club, the Lunar Owls Basketball Club, Mist Basketball Club, Rose Basketball Club, Phantom Basketball Club, that's my favorite, and Vinyl Basketball Club. I don't really love. I love the Phantom name. Don't love the logo.
Yeah, the logo's a little funny.
Yeah, remember Danny Phantom? Yeah, reminds me of that. So there you go.
I like the Laces logo. I think that's a cool. It's like a smooth name too. The Laces. And I like. Yeah, the logo's great. The colors are great too. It's like a seafoam green with like a. I don't even know how to describe. It's like it's like a very interesting shade of like a reddish orange lunar owls. I don't know what exactly that's referring to, but I like you know what I will like about all of these is that they're all unique. It's not, we're not getting the Mustangs. We're not getting, the Falcons or anything like that. These are all unique names. And I think that's at least a cool thing for the league. I have no idea if this league's going to even take off or not. Like, it's obviously going to happen, but I'm very curious to see how many people actually end up watching this league.
Chris's favorite coach, Gino Auriemma, had some things to say when he was asked about the NIL and the transfer portal. All of you college fans, college football and basketball fans that we know listen religiously to this show, curious your thoughts on what Gino had to say, because I know I have thoughts on what he had to say. Here it is.
I think it's a test. It's a test for whether people are full or whether they're serious. All right, so it's a test for, do we keep the charade of student athlete and amateurism, or do we call it what it is? You know, semi-professional, pay-for-play sports.
So that was Gino Auriemma, who basically is saying, let's just call this thing a business, give it a salary cap. And he even says the transfer portal, hey, add buyouts, right? Literally make it just like what.
That's like soccer almost at that point.
Well, because people just keep leaving. And he said, well, you can just bounce from school to school every single year. So I am not a huge Gino Auriemma fan, but I actually agree with what he had to say there.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely is super deep in it. I can imagine how tough it is to recruit nowadays, especially when, it's as even as it's getting in women's basketball. But I actually really do agree with him, too. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I do think that it's gotten to the point where having it be the Wild West is just going to be bad for everybody, and feels like the ones who are really going to get screwed with no regulations over everything is going to be the players. It needs to be regulated in some sense. I think the problem is who's going to be the governing body, because we've seen that when you have a governing body over student athletes, granted, before it was amateur athletes, at least this time they have money, which does bring a certain level of power. But who is going to be the one that's going to actually have the interest of both parties, frankly, at heart? I don't know, because I don't trust the NCAA to do that.
Yeah, so interesting stuff there. I like it better than what I've heard from, some of the college football coaches and just complaining about this, because Gino, he even does say, I can leave whenever I want.
Yeah.
Then they'll just buy me out. So it could be the same thing there. So Gino actually hitting for once there, Chris. All right. Speaking of hitting, Nick Wright and his new hair has hit the jackpot. Nick Wright is signing a Fox Sports contract extension, cementing him. This is from Michael McCarthy of Front Office Sports, cementing him as the future face of FS1. Hey. It pays to be Nick Wright, Chris.
I don't think I've watched a single Nick Wright program probably since he's had hair, to be honest.
Somebody has.
I guess, yeah. I mean, more power to him, I guess. I'm not going to be upset at somebody getting their money and continuing their career, but it's just not really for me. And, I guess in a way I don't want to even say he's better than a Stephen A. Smith, like in terms of like if it's in his hands versus Stephen A.'s, but
yeah.
I mean, it really, I guess I'm just going to read from it that I don't know if they've announced his salary or anything like that, but I would imagine that being the face of the network probably brings you a pretty handsome ransom. So good for Nick Wright, and I hope somebody keeps watching because it ain't me.
Well, I am curious, 916-339-1140, because, obviously, thank you for listening to this show and watching the show on YouTube. But I'm curious, whenever you do want a more national feel.
Yeah, where do you go?
If you are a hardcore sports fan, if you are a casual sports fan, are you firing up the First Takes of the world? Are you firing up the First Things First of the world? Do you have a specific podcast? There's a lot of these guys are getting money, Chris.
Yeah.
So the viewers and listeners are out there somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
Because I'll tell you, if I'm working out in the morning or whatever, and especially during the season during the summer when we were looking for more topics, half of the reason I would fire up First Take is to get that national feel. So that I would fire up First Take, but I never fired up First Things First.
But that's for work, you just said. Like, who's watching this thing for pleasure?
I watched First Take before I was in the industry, though. I watch a lot more. Now I watch about 20, 30 minutes, and most of it is in clip form. All right, last but not least, Chris, this is my favorite story on the day. Last night, Kennesaw State's first ever season with the football team was in 2015, 9 years ago. The Owls played as an FCS school until 2023, then moved to FBS, officially joining this season. Last night, after an 0-6 start, the Owls upset undefeated Liberty for their first FBS win. It gets better, guys. As Meek Mill says, scared money don't make no money. From Caesar Sports, one bettor had $7,000 on Kennesaw State. That money line, Chris, plus $1,450. That bettor won $101,000 after the Owls knocked off undefeated Liberty. But what has that bettor lost? Because if you're cashing $7K for Kennesaw,
no, you're insane.
I want to know what your losses look like.
You're a lunatic, especially $7K. Like, it's not like you put like $7 or even $70.
Right. 70.
Like he put $7,000 and was just willing to more than likely
eat it,
just lose it.
Yeah.
No, I don't get it. Literally nothing like us. Like, I cannot be me. I don't relate to that at all. That's insane. And again, just like we said with the Kings thing, I feel like you should get more money.
College football is different, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, college football is different.
Like a team that hasn't won versus undefeated.
Right.
And
you should get $500. That's a bad bet. It's a bad bet, but a good beat. All right,
man.
Kings, Timberwolves preview. It's time to get you warmed up. Shred it, baby. Stiles and Watkins, Sacramento Sports.
The Sacramento Kings open their season tonight against Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tip at 7 p.m.
Fans on their feet.
Listen to every Kings game all season long.
On your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Kings preview against those Timberwolves of Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I know, I was thinking it in my mind. Kings.
A lot of Minnesota action today.
A lot of Minnesota action. Both trying to get a W.
Do the Wild play?
I mean, it's possible.
Probably.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
They do. Yeah. They play the Tampa Bay Lightning.
There you go. Minnesota. Well, they're getting
Big
the L
Minnesota.
here.
That's right.
All right. And the Vikings are getting your W. The right Minnesota team is going to win, and the right Minnesota team is going to lose. All right, Chris, let's get that preview.
Let's do it. Let's start off just kind of letting the people know. Maybe you were busy yesterday. Maybe this hasn't caught your radar yet. But for those who aren't informed yet, Kevin Huerter and one Trey Lyles are both available. And I think
Trey Lyles movement.
Yes, the Trey Lyles movement has officially began or continued, I guess, in some minds. And Kevin Huerter, as we heard yesterday from Mike Brown, I believe the term was likely to start tonight instead of Keon Ellis. So that's definitely something to watch. As we know, the Timber Pups and the Kings last year got into some battles. I believe it was over Thanksgiving weekend was the first time we saw these two teams meet up last year. The Kings actually won the season series over the Timberwolves, which I think is a bit surprising considering the Timberwolves' success last year and the fact that that has been a team like the Orlando Magic, like the New Orleans Pelicans, where specifically the length of that team was brought up as a problem for the Kings that they wouldn't be able to get over. Kings, again, 2-1 last year on that season series. We'll see if that continues. I think, of course, the most important note for tonight from the Sacramento Kings side of things, the storyline that everybody's going to be following, DeMar DeRozan, first game as a Sacramento King, officially tips off tonight. We waited all summer for, is it going to be Kyle Kuzma? Is it going to be Brandon Ingram? Is it going to be Lauri Markkanen? DeMar DeRozan pops out of nowhere and obviously, has the moment at Summer League where everybody's incredibly excited. And everybody's just been waiting. We saw that first preseason game where they really went to DeMar early in it. I think DeMar DeRozan is going to be the catalyst of an incredibly fun season of Sacramento Kings basketball. He gets his first chance to light the beam tonight at Golden One Center. The Kings, for what it's worth, all time in their home openers, 27-16. I think that's pretty dang good considering that this team has obviously been where they've been for so long. That's home openers, I believe, going back. That's going back quite a ways. I found that on StatMuse. And for what it's worth, too, something to look out for. The most points, Alan, Nate, who is most willing or most likely, I should say, to possibly enter this list tonight. Most points in season opener in the Sacramento era. 32 points from DeMarcus Cousins, 33 points from Reggie Theus, 33 points from one De'Aaron Fox. And this is hilarious, and I promise it's true. The two highest point totals in season opening games, you had a 33 piece and a 36 piece from one Harrison Barnes.
That was 2 years ago, right? Or was it last year?
I believe it was 2 years ago, if I remember correctly. I think last year, I don't remember him having that big of a night on opening night.
Might have had a zero.
Let me see.
The Reggie Theus one, I checked to see if that was.
No, it was last year. Nate, good call.
Year.
33 points for HB last opening night, 11 of 16, 5 of 7 from the field, 6 of 6 from the free throw line.
And these are home openers, correct? Not just the NBA season?
That one specifically, no. This number is any Sacramento Kings season opener. The last one, 27-16, was in home openers.
The first home opener, Reggie Theus put up 24. I was just checking to make sure if that was his first game here. But that's a big one. Are we guessing tonight?
No, I mean, I just thought in general, who do you feel like would be the most likely tonight to maybe enter it would have to be 32 plus points to enter that top 5 scoring outputs.
Well, it would be Trey Lyles if they'd start him.
If they would just start
if they would start the man, it'd be him.
Jeez.
I'll just be crazy and I'll just say Kevin Huerter.
Wow.
He's setting the tone early.
Nate, did you text the show earlier about Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk scoring 30 and 25?
Does it start with 8-7-1?
Come on. Yeah.
I'm gonna be boring here and just say De'Aaron Fox. I think there's gonna be the only reason I find it hard for it to be DeMar DeRozan is just because of the threes. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just think De'Aaron Fox can knock down a couple threes that puts him at he knocks down 4 threes. He's at 12 points already, and then he gets to the free throw line and does other things. So I'm gonna go boring and say
why not
De'Aaron Fox, but I want to say Keegan Murray.
That's what I want to say. So I'll just say it. Let's say Keegan Murray just absolutely lights it up. The last time Keegan Murray was in Golden One Center, he lit it up against the Golden State Warriors. Let's hope he can continue it tonight and maybe enter the top 5 most points in a season opener for the Sacramento Kings. And then just to give a little recap on what the Wolves have been up to, they obviously lost their season opener to the Lakers on Tuesday, 110-103. Anthony Edwards in that one was to say the focal point is an absolute understatement. 27 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, and he had the ball in his hands pretty much the last 6 or 7 minutes of that game. They desperately need another ball handler. We'll see if your boy Rob Dillingham plays today.
Yeah, sorry. It was just weird. I was just looking back at the stats.
Yeah.
For Anthony Edwards, just to prove he's not a point guard and this is not something that they can do. No, first game, he had the ball the whole time. To get 3 assists is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was insane.
Also like 10 of 24 too. So he's just like, he was putting them up.
Yeah.
Wasn't really getting a lot of points off of his passes. I think the 3 numbers that I saw in that opening night that I think the Kings should look at and start licking their chops and say, if we can do this, we'll get the same exact result. Lakers on Tuesday, a thing that Mike Brown talked about all preseason or all training camp, I guess I should say, offensive rebounds. The Lakers had 15 offensive rebounds, and if I'm not mistaken, Austin Reeves had 4 of them. That should tell you that if truly what Mike Brown wants is to have everyone on the offense crash the glass, we could see Kevin Huerter get some offensive rebounds. Keegan Murray should be in there. It can't just be Domas getting all the rebounds. I would like to see the Kings win the offensive rebound battle tonight. The Lakers also forced 16 turnovers. That plays into the offensive rebounds in the sense of extra possessions. That's really, at the end of the day, the game the Kings are trying to play, is they want to have as many games where they take 100 shots and the team they're playing takes 75. If you can just get extra possessions, that's really how you end up winning the offensive rating game. That's how you win the efficiency game. And I think that's how the Kings can win tonight. Another number to watch just in general, Wolves play slow. They had 7 fast break points on Tuesday's game. Kings like to play fast. They need to push the pace, get Rudy Gobert out into some space, and Julius Randle too. If you can get him out on the perimeter, absolutely expose him. He's one of the laziest defenders in the NBA. I want the Kings to attack, especially Keegan Murray. If Julius Randle is going to be guarding Keegan Murray, Keegan should look like Steph Curry tonight, just running around the floor, unrelenting.
Well, Julius Randle's going to try to give him that bump.
Come on now.
He's going to be trying to give him that bump down the key, don't Keegan, somebody gonna have to hit that muscle.
He's gonna get a hip check. He's gonna go flying like Jazzy Jeff out the front door.
Well, I wouldn't say it's gonna be Keegan or DeMar.
It might be DeMar defensively. I'm more concerned about Keegan on the offensive side, like coming in for a rebound, and Julius just kind of throwing a little chicken wing action, a little hip
Julius
check
with the chicken wing. All right,
it's a chicken wing.
It's a chicken wing. Prop talk, and not a chicken segment, but a dog segment. Coming on up. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
A handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat. Bring out all the flavors of the upcoming holidays with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills that features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, complete with a lifetime warranty. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just because it's October does not mean we can't barbecue outside. Visit California Backyard now for your best selection of grills and Napoleon Grills accessories.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
DC here for Folsom Lake Kia, where they make car shopping easy with a huge selection of new Kia models, low payments, and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, your trusted dealer in Folsom for over 25 years. FolsomLakeKia.com.
What would it take for a plumbing company to earn your trust? Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And let's face it, plumbing and service companies don't always have the best reputation.
So to earn your trust, the first thing they'd have to do is actually answer the phone when you call with a real live person. Then they'd have to send a plumber when you needed them, day or night, without charging extra for emergency services.
A trustworthy plumber would show up on time, wearing a clean uniform and name badge, and be able to show that they had passed a background check and drug test.
A plumber you could trust would give you a firm quote on the job before starting and clean up after they finish the job.
That's exactly the plumber you'll get when you call Bell Brothers. A plumber you can trust. Call Bell Brothers right now for all your plumbing needs. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Hey, Marvel movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Venom, The Last Dance, the IMAX experience. Everything will end. The best theater to experience Venom's action-packed finale is the Esquire IMAX, with its 6-story screen and heart-pounding audio.
There comes a time in every man's life where you have to make a sacrifice.
Be the first to see Venom, The Last Dance. Grab your great seats today at IMAX.com/Sacramento.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
"30 more minutes with you." Stiles and Watkins. I saw a picture from Whitey Gleason. They are starting to set up. That Beach Hut Deli might slide by. I don't want to ruin my appetite though, Chris, for the medium meal and the cookie.
Yeah, maybe we can figure out some sort of we got to incorporate that into the show somehow, because it's one of our favorite topics in general.
What the food will be?
Yeah, do you think people would be interested if we shared it on socials?
Pictures?
Yeah, because
I think Kings would be mad.
I was
think
gonna
so
say,
too.
yeah.
I've seen people do it before, but I've always kind of figured that they would be upset.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I can do the cookie. I'll just do the cookie. Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about a preview or a review, Chris?
Either one.
Just a picture.
Either one.
Okay.
Well,
Somebody
I'm saying
might say free
on
my
socials
man
on that,
Al.
This is my first year for a full season credential, and I'm gonna lose it right away if we start reviewing the food
That's a
in
fair
the media
point.
room.
You shouldn't do
Fair
that.
point.
I always go.
We don't have to review it, but even just showing it.
I'll put you like this. I always go very hungry.
I do as well.
Free food though.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why.
So I'm a scarf.
At least you're getting a hot dog that's gonna be fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and it reminds you of baseball.
It sure does.
oh man.
There you go. Guys, before we get into prop talk and dog segment, the 49ers do not believe safety Talanoa Hufanga will play again this season. So he is in the last year of that contract. However, Mike Silver spoke with Talanoa Hufanga's agent, and he insists that the plan is for Hufanga to try to play in a few weeks while wearing a cast. So it sounds like they want him to get out there because he's got to show what he can do. I mean, Nate, does it feel like if he doesn't, or does it feel like if he isn't able to play again this season, we've watched the last game for Talanoa Hufanga in the red and gold?
Oh yeah. I am not high on Hufanga right now.
We can't
we've
get
gone
on
over
the field.
Well, yeah, I don't think you need to pay him. I think Malik looks great. Jair looks great. At least good enough. I think most fans would agree with me. I know he's like a heart and soul guy.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of those on the Niners. Got a lot of those.
I hear you on that one. Okay, Chris, let's get into a little bit of prop talk and dog segment. So we have prop talk for NBA.
Yep.
Then we should do prop talk for NFL first.
Okay. I have
so
one
then
for
we
that,
can do
so good.
prop talk for the NBA straight into dog segment.
Sounds good. Sounds perfect. I already have a Vikings Rams one for you, so that's perfect. And I think I did this one for a Niner game because the Niners had given up so many explosive plays. The one that I'm looking at today is one I feel very, very good about. Justin Jefferson, my guy, longest reception, 28.5 yards. I'm taking the over specifically because I saw this note from Vikings PR. Shout out Vikings PR. Justin Jefferson can become the first Viking to record at least one reception of 25-plus yards in each of his first 7 games to begin a season since 1994.
So they're going to go for it.
I'm hoping so. Stephon Diggs also had a 6-game streak that was similar in 2015, but Jay Jettas is that guy. And so, I'll take the streak to be broken and Justin Jefferson over 28.5 yards as his longest reception tonight. Book it.
Real quick, there was another, we've heard it before about these slant receivers. Somebody has hated on Cooper Kupp for being more of a slot receiver guy. And Amon-Ra gets that same rap, or these possession kind of slot receivers. This is what I want. If you're going to continue to do these football podcasts, all these guys, I am interested in the thought process there and the fact that there are levels to this, because just like you said, Chris, that Justin Jefferson stat of 25 yards or more on a reception every game, Amon-Ra St. Brown's never getting that, right? He's never coming close to that. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a receiver is an elite receiver in a different way, but in the eyes of the NFL players and coaches and GMs, how do they view the different types of receivers? Because there are a lot of receivers, like Tyreek Hill is different because of his speed. Obviously, he barely hits about 5'10". Then you have Justin Jefferson, who's probably the most traditional, like what we grew up with. Yeah. And now you have all these kind of skinnier guys. You got the Devontae Smiths of the world. But yeah, I do think it's interesting. All elite wide receivers, but there are levels to this. Like the AJ Browns, the DK Metcalfs are basically the more physical guys, but they're almost too physical, where you have Justin Jefferson, who's just really good at everything, to be honest.
Just great. He's just a great player. I think he's offensively the best non-quarterback in the NFL. I think there's a conversation for him to be just period the best player in the NFL, but you got guys like TJ Watt that definitely pose a threat to that. But yeah, I mean, I just think he's absolutely ridiculous. And I've never seen, even Randy Moss is honestly the closest thing I've ever seen. He was honestly a different kind of receiver just because he was honestly more of a take the top off the defense kind of receiver. Like you said, Justin Jefferson can do it all. He can get you the 99-yard touchdown. He can be hey, get me 15 receptions and I'll have 90 yards today. He's a great red zone target. He's a playmaker. He's a yak guy. He's absolutely incredible. Literally the best complete receiver I've ever seen.
I'm a little worried about what I have, guys, but I'm going to do it anyway, and it might have just disappeared. But I'm going to go with Aaron Jones, and I'm going to take his under. The reason I'm worried is because that makes me feel like if I'm taking that means that it's going to be a good game.
What's it set at?
It's set at 73.5. Aaron Jones, he went for 93 last game, but before that against the Jets, he went for 29. And then before that, he went for 93. Houston, he went for 102.
I believe he got hurt in that.
He got hurt in that Jets game. I am worried about it, but one of my guys on Twitter, he said, all right, when you're looking at these when you're looking at these running backs, typically these running backs, they don't perform as well on short rest as other positions. So I'm a little worried about it. It was either that or Sam Darnold over. Either way, it requires the Rams to make this a game. So I'm just going to go with Aaron Jones under 73.5. I don't feel great about it, but it's Thursday. I don't feel great about it.
I kind of like it. Run a lot more on a Thursday.
I said under.
Oh, under. Excuse me. Run a lot less.
Nate
on a
doesn't like
Thursday.
it, Ben.
No, I don't like. I don't like it.
Don't trail me, fade me.
I'm going for number 1, Will Reichard. Number 1 Star Trek reference.
Okay.
Whatever. Field goal and a half made. I'm taking the over. I think they're kicking field goals tonight,
Dude hasn't missed a kick all year.
Yeah, he's great. Chris, what do you think about that?
I think it scares me for when they actually have to take a kick that's going to mean something.
Well, what do you think about my prop?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he has not missed, and I think. Do I trust Sam Darnold to get into the end zone every time? Definitely not. So
No.
yeah,
Yep.
I would definitely bet on Will Riker.
And then are we doing Kings or not?
Yeah,
We're doing Kings and we're doing Dogs.
Yeah,
I
go
got
ahead
a
and double
Kings
it
one
up.
here.
Yeah, double it up.
DeMontis Sabonis. A lot of talk about how many threes he needs to take
right.
per game. There's a demon out there for half 3-pointer made
Oh
for
my
Domas.
gosh.
The man
They're
just
not
has to
paying
make
attention.
1 3-pointer. Yeah, they're not
Say it
listening.
like that's easy.
They're not listening to our Frankie's media scrum interviews and Sirius XM with Mike Brown. He's making a 3 tonight. Give me that. DeMontis Sabonis.
Wow.
Okay.
You love the all or nothings.
I do.
I respect that.
They're
Really
fun.
good one.
They're a lot of fun.
I think that's a really good one. I'm looking at a couple. I think the one that I feel best about here is Keegan Murray 13.5 over. That just feels way too low for me for Keegan. I think, obviously we've talked about how important his success is to the Kings' success. He, to me, is the one offensively that just, unless they're going to put Jaden. Here's the thing about the Kings offense. So let's do the X's and all that stuff. So if they're starting Mike Conley either has to guard De'Aaron Fox or he's guarding Kevin Huerter. I would guess he's going to guard Kevin Huerter, and they're going to put Anthony Edwards on De'Aaron. That leaves Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle to guard either DeRozan or Keegan Murray. Maybe they'll put Jaden McDaniels on Keegan Murray because he's a little bit more mobile. But if Julius Randle ends up on Keegan, I just think that's going to be a field day for him. Maybe it'll be DeMar, but I think regardless, it's important for Keegan to get involved. Taking Keegan over 13.5 points.
Guys, by the way, that Aaron Jones, it was 101.5 reception and rushing yards. I was going under on that, not just the rushing yards. So
okay,
yeah, I was just letting you know on that one. I'm kind of torn on the Kings, but I'm gonna keep it simple. I mean, I think this might be the lowest we see De'Aaron Fox during this season. 23 points.
Come on,
really?
I've never seen it that low.
23 points.
I think it was at 27.5 pretty much all last year.
Yeah, 23 points. You can even, if you want to get spicy, bump it up. I'm going De'Aaron Fox, 23 points.
Well, bump it up.
Yeah. There you go. From the 209, Sack Tizzy into Hizzy. 11-0, talking about the first 11 games of the season. Let's go, Kings. I'm all in. Sack Tizzy and the Hizzy.
Yeah, Sack Tizzy and the Hizzy. Okay.
There you go.
Some football updates here. Just on the injury front, Emil Fergoso putting out Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, both back at practice today. Juwan Jennings was nowhere to be seen, however. And then on the Rams front, a little bit concerning from my end, but Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua both look to be active and playing today. So there you go.
Both are back.
Both are back. Both of them are back.
Wow.
Same week. Both of them are back. So
and this is where we'll see. Are the Rams going to start their are they going to start their dark horse campaign that they do every season?
That would be crazy. I mean, if they win today, they're 3-4. I think they would be tied for second in the division then at that point. Like, it can change fast, especially as they're getting healthy. Like,
they'd be ahead of the Niners.
Crazy. 3-4. Yeah, they would, with the win. Yes, they would. Yeah, so they would be in second place in the division with the win today, as crazy as that is.
Wow. They do it every single season.
We didn't name them dead yet.
They will not die. No.
There you go. From the 916, Schmitty here. I'm saying Keegan.
We got Sack Tizzy and
Sack Tizzy and Schmitty.
Okay.
Or Schmetty. You got to let us know how to pronounce that. Schmetty.
I'd say
Schmetty.
It's definitely Schmetty. Schmeddie. That might be Schmetty.
We'll say Schmitty.
I'm saying Keegan is going for 35. I like that Schmetty.
That would be insane.
Schmitty. There we go. All right.
Kings fans, their heads would explode if that happened.
Gosh.
And no one would have a voice. Right? And you're not supposed to yell in the media section. I'd be yelling. Sometimes they'll look back at me, the media from the other team. What? Turn around.
Yeah.
I can't see.
Turn around.
Move your head. I cannot see. I'm just yelling Keegan Murray. I didn't even see the ball going because your head's in the way.
He's going, shut up, 5'9". You're like, oh, what?
No.
Throwback to.
Then I go get an oatmeal raisin cookie.
Yeah.
All right. We got dog segment on the other side, and we go over the end of season awards, and we give our football pick as well. A lot to do, but we got enough time. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Not sure how much you know about Progressive Insurance. You may know us for insuring your home and auto. You may know a couple of our commercials. But what you may not know is that since 2013, Progressive has been honoring veterans with vehicle donations through the annual Keys to Progress Veteran Vehicle Giveaway Program, giving back to those who gave so much. Now, you probably didn't wake up today saying, I really wish I knew more about Progressive Insurance, but this seemed like the type of thing people wouldn't mind hearing about. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
If you're not looking for a brand new car, at Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. We've kept only the best of our trades, and our buyer has found some of the finest pre-owned Hondas available in Northern California. You can see for yourself at elkgrovehonda.com. Whether you purchase a brand new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, your car buying experience will be the same. We have the right Honda at the right price. You'll find us in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves, but don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Don't miss the action as the Kings tip off their 40th season in Sacramento. Be there for opening night at Golden One Center on Thursday, October 24th, when the Kings take on the Minnesota Timberwolves at 7 p.m. Tickets for all games are on sale now, so be sure to get yours to see De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, new addition DeMar DeRozan, and all of your Sacramento Kings take the court. Head to kings.com/tickets to secure your seat for the action.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Don't miss Stoney's Rockin' Radio's Halloween bashes this weekend. That's right, Stoney has Halloween costume contests each night, including Sexiest, Scariest, and Best, and a superhero/villain contest this Sunday night. Winners get a dash for cash on the dance floor. free late night food, country dancing, and Halloween fun all weekend long. I'll see you on the dance floor.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Schmetty. Shout out Schmetty from the 916. 15 more minutes with you, and then you will take a trip to Beach Hut Deli, either through your ears or you will actually be there to hang out with Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason. Can someone make sure Kyle Draper gets a sandwich? Okay? We know.
Not a half sandwich either.
Not a half sandwich.
He needs a whole one.
A whole one. All right? He's got his Benz and he's got his Hobie. Give him
And he's got his Alsco white.
Yes,
That's right.
To stay clean.
And what else? He should be a pizza guy too.
There you
He can
go.
be anything.
There you go. Shout out to the Drive Guys coming up in about 15 minutes. Let's go with the dog segment. It's been a while. That's right.
Hey, did you guys notice that they got rid of the 30 minutes from the Stockton ad?
Oh, the quick 30-minute drive or whatever.
They
I
must
did
have
not
heard
notice
it.
that.
Traffic's bad. What is it, on the 80? On 80?
I think that's 99. Yeah.
That's how you get to Boomtown, too.
No, it isn't. It's definitely not.
Definitely-
That is how you get
Definitely
to
the
LA.
opposite way. No,
50.
80 is how you get to Boomtown.
80.
50 takes you to Tahoe.
No, that's what I mean. All right. Dog segment. It's been a great one today. Dog segment. My dog.
I did not miss this song.
Let's not talk about the fact that he might be coming off the pine, but that doesn't mean that he will not shine. My dog, Keon Ellis.
All right. Let's go. You know what?
Keon's a good pick.
It is a good pick. It's always a good pick with Keon. Keon is the dog of this team. I mean, come on. I want to go to DeMar DeRozan just because it's his first game. I feel like you might see some, maybe him diving on the floor. Probably not. He's 36 years old. He doesn't want to dive on the floor, but 35. But let's go with Kevin Huerter. I guess it's kind of going against you a little bit, but it's more just that we know Kevin heals those footsteps. We just know that Kevin hears they can both thrive in their spots. I just think Kevin can hear the footsteps. It's his first game action back. I'm assuming that it shouldn't just be about shooting with him, especially when you just don't know how your shot's going to look. Hopefully Kevin can do a lot of the other things. That's going to determine the dog for me tonight. Doesn't matter how many threes you hit, Kevin Huerter. How do you impact the game besides that? Are you driving? Are you getting offensive rebounds? Are we ready to have the Kevin Huerter defense conversations again? Because those weren't fun. Hey, I mean, I would say that he was surprisingly actually pretty decent at getting deflections and things like that, but we don't need to talk about the importance of those things. Let's just have Kevin be a dog tonight and have it be unquestioned. Kevin Huerter's my pick. Kevin Huerter.
Kevin Huerter. All right. Text line, or excuse me, Nate, go.
Okay. So I know this isn't a political show, but I'll say right now, I am a part of the
Trey Lyles movement.
And I'm taking Trey Lyles, baby.
Goodness.
That's it. He's my.
I thought you were going to bring up a wall again. I was just like, my God.
Whoa!
That's what Devin Booker said.
$4 billion or whatever, and you get a wall.
$2 billion and you build a
head.
wall. That's what Devin Booker said it.
And then KD said he was staring at it the whole time, too.
Yeah.
All right. Kyle. Got Kyle Ledbetter back there. Kyle Ledbetter. Who's your dog?
Hold on.
Kyle, can you hear me? Kyle, get those headphones on.
Hey,
it's going to take a minute.
Yeah.
Have him lean into your
Alan is asking you to join me. Look, man, what are we talking about here? We finally made it. It's opening night. We got a doorbell.
It's the start of the music video. Sorry.
Oh, I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. We're,
it's the first game for everybody.
Yeah,
Nate. It's fine.
Just trying to get my feet under me.
Yeah.
Well, I missed this very
Come on,
much.
Ruff.
Unlike Nate, I'm glad this segment is back.
I hate the song.
You play it. Nobody tells you to play it.
I guess you're right.
Who's your dog, Kyle?
My dog, DeMar DeRozan in his first game.
There you
Beautiful.
go.
Nice. Beautiful. Come on.
All right, so we got our
overcomplicated.
dogs. We got our dogs ready. We got our prop talk ready. We're here on the text line.
We got
see
to do
a
our
couple
football
coming through.
picks too.
Sack
Oh,
Tizzy
man.
into Hizzy with their dog as well. Here you go. I got some dogs, guys, on the Sack chat. We have Curtis Hicks. Swiper is my dog. Bark, bark, bark. Manny too legit. I got De'Aaron as that dog tonight. CJ says light the beam. And those are the dogs so far, guys. CJ says Foxy will score 45, and so will Keegan and DeMar. It's over.
Well, that's a lot of
what, no,
points.
that's what I'm talking about. Why not?
45, what is that?
Let's do it.
90, 135 points
Yep.
between the three.
There you go.
Sure.
Zip it in and zip it out. All right, let's do our
NFL
picks.
All right. Is anyone not picking the Vikings?
I'm picking them.
Yeah, I'm picking them. All right, Alan, you want to start? Alan's behind. So right now the score is Alan 3, Chris 4, Nate 4. So it's close.
I'm not positive that that's correct.
How? Me and Chris tied last week, and we were all tied last week.
We'll discuss after. We'll discuss.
No, we won't, because
Well, I'm still going Vikings. This isn't the time.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not the time and place to take a flyer on that. All right, Chris, last but not least, before we get on out of here, final prediction. And don't give me a range. Don't give me a they could be this, they could be that. Where do the Kings finish? One specific seed, okay? You don't have to do wins. Let's just do seed. What seed? What happens in the postseason? The last time we can do it before the season starts.
First off, I do want to say I looked up the lyrics to Who Let the Dogs Out, and it is not at all what I thought it was. Second off, I would say that the Kings, if I had to guess this season, I think that they're going to be a 3 seed, and I think they're going to win 51 games this season.
Oh,
that's what I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it all summer long.
Yeah. Speaking into existence. Nate?
I think the Kings. Oh, man. I think they got 50 on the dot, but I think that might. The problem is the West is going to kill itself, right? They're just going to beat each other up. So I was going to say 50 and a 5 seed, but maybe I'll go 4 seed. 50 wins and a 4 seed.
Nice.
50 wins and
50
a 4
and 32.
seed. That's essentially what I was going to say. 50. I was going to say 50 and say a 4 or 5 seed. I'm going to say 5 seed just because I do think the West is tough. I really want to say 4 seed, but I'd rather not copy Nate there. And let's go back one more time before we get you out of here and get you ready for the drive, guys. What happens in the postseason, Chris?
Second round, at least second round.
Lose in the second round?
At least second round. That's all I'm saying.
Do they win or lose?
I know that they're going to make the second round. That's what I'm willing to say right now.
All right.
Anything can happen after.
I'll go crazy on this one. I think
Sure.
they make the Western Conference Finals. Maybe it's not a great series with whoever it is. Maybe it's Dallas. Whatever. They make the Western Conference Finals, which leads to just a boom in Sacramento sports, and it just goes crazy here, and things go off the rails, and it's awesome.
There you have it.
Oh,
you got anything?
I got second round, but I have them losing in the second.
Okay.
But it's going to be a great season.
Who do they lose to? Pods?
I won't make you go that. I mean, I was very unspecific, so I'll allow you that leash of not having to.
That's okay.
I'm just, don't start with me. All right. Thank you to the callers, texters, sack chatters. Congrats to our winner. One more chance to win Sam Morrell tickets tomorrow on a Feel Good Friday. Hopefully we will be feeling good after the Kings do what they need to do. You have the drive, guys, coming up next. live from Beach Hut Deli right next to Golden One. Go head on over there and say what's up to the guys. Get Draper a sandwich and get Whitey one as well. Until tomorrow, for the first time this season, secure the bag like the beat.
The Sacramento Kings